leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck
Started
is
off
the
with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
40.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
The entire time it looked like I actually thought I checked and I thought YouTube audio was on, and I don't know. My bad. My apologies. I'm not going to rewind everything. You missed the. I am curious. There was audio in the beginning of YouTube, no, or was it muted the entire time? Because I thought I did look, and it did look like the mic was not muted. But Diablito says we're muted. So, man, my bad. I guess I should get back in the habit of just shout out on our GMers, because that really, this whole time I'm, asking for YouTube like and subscribes. Meanwhile, our YouTube family is not hearing a word because I was muted apparently the whole time. But yes, what a game 3 it was. GM to Thomas, Zombie Rob, Yu-Chin, Absolute Zero, Corona, Yu-Chin again, Mike Campbell, Thomas, 803 gave me the heads up. No sound. Jesus, my apologies. I will, not enough coffee this morning. Don't talk about the Spurs. We are muted. Yeah, I was giving all the love on the Spurs to you. Is this thing on? It was the coldest of cold opens this morning. Yeah, Jesus, my bad all. But Absolute Zero, Thomas, appreciate you all. Thank you very much for the letting me know and attempting to co-produce. Rich Brian, hope Tampa treated you well, Lakeland, Tampa, and appreciate everyone over there trying to point this to my attention, including Frosty's in the chat. Atari Godblin, I like it, and there we go. So muted the entire time. Great, wonderful. X video also muted. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, anytime. So I'm guessing that Abstract would have been muted as well. Anytime the mic is muted in StreamYard, it's going to mute all channels except for X audio spaces. So my bad. It was a good rant too. It was a good rant on Spurs and Knicks, but I don't want to rewind the whole thing for those who did hear it on X Audio Spaces. But the TLDR is long the Spurs. I've been beating the Spurs drum. I'm really not a huge Spurs fan. I want to see the dynasty, and New York really played well. I mean, Brunson scored 30, 32. Hart and OG were staying on their head, seemingly couldn't miss, I felt last night, while the Spurs, Wimby played well, and Castle played well, but Fox and Harper did not have good games. I think they went 1 for 13 from 3. I think Harper had 4 points. Harper had 12 points, and Fox had maybe 4 points or something. It just was not a good game from the Spurs to point guard. I know they got several guards, but really their 2 main point guards did not play well. And felt like the Knicks did shoot lights out, and even still the Spurs won in New York. We will see, but I want to see 7 games. That's my TLDR, is I want to see 7 games. I will stay up and watch game 7 live if we make it there. I don't want to overcommit, but may even watch game 5 live, and I'm excited for it. The other thing I shared that is noteworthy is there looks like there were shout out to NFT Everydays who shared in the chat, but there was not 1 but 2 6-figure sales on Panini NFTs, and just continues to heat up over there on that platform. Why we're talking Spurs now? You don't have to go bet on the Spurs or the Knicks for that matter. You don't have to put any money at risk. But I would recommend, if you don't have a Kalshi account yet, go sign up for Kalshi. It's not available in every region. I actually can't participate because I don't think I can participate because I live in Florida. It said this region. I'm guessing it's something with the state of Florida. Sometimes their sportsbook rules kick back and don't allow me to participate in everything. But they are giving away $1 million. You can enter for free. All you have to do is pick the World Cup winner. Now, you don't get the million just yourself. You're sharing it with everyone else who picks the winner. So whereas I think I'm rooting for France, I've got the most exposure in my best ball builds to France, and so that's who I'm pulling for. But they're also one of the favorites. France and Spain are both at 16% right now on Kalshi, and so theoretically, then a lot of people in this free contest are going to pick France or Spain to win. Whereas if you pick an underdog and the underdog wins, you're splitting that, you're chopping that $1 million with a lot less people. I would suggest not betting on the United States as your underdog unless you really want, really root for the home team, because even though they're a dog, Kaush is in the United States, the World Cup's in the United States. They're probably going to be, I'm guessing, if you look at all the teams that have like 1%, 1 to 2% chance to win, they're probably going to have the most bets in a free contest like this because people are going to want to root for the home team. So yeah, here's the update on those Panini NFTs. There was a Steph Curry that sold for 123 grand, a Wemby that sold for 115 grand, and a Lamine Yamal sold for 50K. He's Lamine is the star of the Spain team, but he's been dealing with a hamstring injury, so it is he's supposed to play in the World Cup. Most likely will play in the World Cup. It's just undetermined when if he's gonna play in like the opener or when for sure. But thanks again for the update, NFT Everydays. And speaking of cards and Wimbies, shout out to Joey Vals for picking up a couple of Wimbies for our guy Dort, collecting a couple of Jim Mint 10 Wimbies there. Love to see it. That might be like the first thing I put you on for me, Joey, to source for me would be, if he stays healthy, it seems like, and I know now I feel like I'm buying the local top, probably a better time to wait until like a lull in the, maybe like in the off season, or if they don't win the finals, but it seems like the surest thing to me, like fast forward a decade, 20 years, assuming he stays healthy, his cards will just be worth, I feel like anywhere from 2 to 20x more than they are today. Joey, what do you feel about that call? Is 2 to 20x in the next 10 years? Is that realistic, assuming Wemby stays healthy?
GM. I think 2x is laughable. I mean, you look at just like Jalen Brunson, right? Like a guy who's not like, he's not even considered by many as one of the best players in the NBA, right? He's proving that he is, right? But he's not, like, if you ask anybody to list out the best players in the NBA, how many people are going to put Jalen Brunson in the top 10, right? Like he
top 10, but that's probably, I saw an interesting conversation yesterday. I can't remember what show it was on, but someone asked Reggie Miller the top players under. Well, it started at 6'2", then it was 6'3", and then they landed at 6'5", the top NBA players in history under 6'5". And they both said, like, if he wins a title, Brunson, maybe not the 6'5" list, but like the 6'2" list, Brunson's entered that conversation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a Knicks fan, like, I've always felt that he's an incredibly good basketball player. But for a guy who's like, and he's not very collectible either, right? So, but you look at just his rookie cards. I mean, you could have bought his rookie cards for I think I was looking at some stats yesterday, like a rookie patch auto when he was a rookie for like $200. Now that card's selling for multiple 4 figures. Because he's going to continue to play well. The Knicks are going to continue to play well. But like, if there's any, like, rookie cards are always, if you're looking for gains in any sports collectibles, it's rookie cards, right? Like LeBron autos, regardless of the year, are always going to be worth something, right? But if you're looking for players that have yet to establish themselves as Hall of Famers and things like that, rookie cards are the way to go. So yes, you're right. If Wemby doesn't get hurt, and I think the Spurs are potentially like the next dynasty, which I know we said that about OKC, but I believe in the Spurs more than OKC. I don't think you would be buying the top right now. I mean, there are deals to be had. I just bought 3 more. So the card that I bought for Dort, the Prism, that's like people consider that like his true rookie card. The one that I got for Dort, I just bought 3 of those off a guy who I previously bought cards from when the market was about $500 a card, and I paid $320 a card because I bought 3 of them off of him. And we had previously done a deal before. So there are deals to be had. Like, you don't have to pay market if you know where to look and you know what you're doing. Worst case, if they lose the finals, and let's say it's a good finals, let's say it's 6-7 games and they lose the finals. Worst case scenario is Wemby cards will drop about 20 to 25%. which is still okay, right? Like if you paid $500 for a card, it drops to $375. You're still okay because next season, I expect the Spurs to be competitive again and him potentially win an MVP, and that number's probably going to go up.
Yep.
Am I telling you to buy it at market price? No, don't buy it at market price. Try to get it below. But I think worst case scenario, you'll see like a 20% dip if they don't win, and then I'm buying all the Wembies. If they dip 20%, I'm buying everything, and I'm going to hold. And I think, again, look at Steph Curry rookies. If you bought a Steph Curry rookie for $30, that thing's worth like $30K now. It's crazy.
I think the other thing you made me think is even like, forget 10 years. It probably is up 2x and then some. Yeah. Check.
Hello?
Can you not hear me? I should be good.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah, hopefully. I can hear you just fine. Let me check in the my audio, okay? We'll check in the chat just to make sure. Hopefully, again, nothing's muted. Should be fine. We are take one, take two. Fine on X. Yeah, we're good. So it must have been you, Joey. The one thing you made me think of there is it's not just 10 years from now. It's like, and now personally, like how I would play this is if I'm buying Wemby cards, I'm like holding him for the duration of his career. I wouldn't be looking to necessarily flip out of it, but maybe there is a play where I pick up multiples of the same card, and if he wins, to your point, if he wins, he has a year. Maybe they lose the championship this year. Buy it at that 20% discount. Next year he wins Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and wins a title. The card's going to spike, probably way more than a 2x, and you probably there's chances it goes like this throughout his career. You zooming out, it's going to be up most likely. So again, assuming health, but this is there's opportunities to play it that you don't have to just sit and hold it for a decade. There's probably he's such a young player and hasn't peaked. Hopefully he hasn't peaked yet. And during that playing career peak, you probably have opportunities to exit. And then in addition, as he retires, does his retirement tour, I know this is hopefully decades down the road, gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, like other opportunities where you could sell at highs. But yeah, I'm excited. And
there's lots of ways you could play it. And again, you just have to, it's the NFT rule, like you always talk about, right? Like in threes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta, if you believe in somebody, or just like with anything you invest in, right? Like when I didn't know enough about Hyperliquid. When it dipped, I sold, and now I look like an idiot, right? But if you believe in something, sometimes there's going to be dips, and you have to be willing to hold through those dips. And that's why, even with trading cards, you cannot spend money that you don't have, because if that card dips, you're going to freak out and you're going to want to sell, and then you're going to you have to understand that even with unless you bought Wemby's before the playoffs started, you might sell now because you're up so much, but most people didn't, and they can't. They just gotta hold and believe that he's going to be that guy. And I think he has the potential to be that guy. I mean, look, even in the game 2 loss, what did he score? 30 something in the game 2 loss. The guy's very talented. There's no question about that. And he's got a young team around him. And I really do think this could be like what we saw with the Golden State Warriors with Curry, Clay, Draymond, right? Like you've got De'Aaron Fox, who they could parlay into more talent. And then Dylan Harper steps up as the starter, but you got Dylan Harper, Wemby, Steven Castle. Like that sounds a lot like the Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry. And I mean, obviously they have a lot to prove, but there's a lot of talent there.
Yeah, they're loaded. They are loaded. And I just hope it's a 7-game series. I'd love to see it. As we wind out the sports conversation and get us into this Y202K, Y2026K. I don't know. I'm trying to make something up, and it's not. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as good as Y2K did. We will touch on that. We will touch on, I'm not. Once again, another paper trade that I did not click buttons on and would have absolutely printed. Could have been the trade of the year, and I sure. I don't think I talked about it on this stage. Did talk about it in the war room, but I talked about Humanity. Humanity had ripped up like 230% on a day. It was up like 400% in the month. I did a little deeper diving and saw that, oh wow, that's interesting that this token had been out for a year and it basically just had been down to flat only, had just started ripping on no news, no catalyst. And oh, by the way, the 12-month anniversary here, I think it's June 25th, if I'm remembering correctly. It's all the investor and early supporters. Like the first round of token unlocks occur on the 25th of this month. And so I said, I'm going to be shorting Humanity. I don't know anything about the protocol other than the price action just looked very manufactured to get it pumped up at a higher valuation, get some attention, get some volume, so that the team and investors could sell into the pump as their tokens got unlocked. Well, it just got hacked. 100 million H was minted, or $11 million worth. More selling pressure. It also said there was another amount said losses exceeded 30 million. So I don't know where the actual losses came from. If it was just they minted new tokens and then so basically they're just diluting the supply in advance of those unlocks. Zach XBT says this incident seems possibly staged. I saw another person before I saw Zach say this as well, that it was an insider, likely an insider front running the token unlocks, basically like a quote unquote exploit, so that they could get ahead of, would not wait until the 25th, which is like in 2 weeks, but sell ahead of that. He goes on to say, I'm not buying the team story. It's a convenient way for an active market maker to have exited. Unsure whether it's theft or market making. Check the chart, and it seems the H team was possibly working with an active market maker given supply concentration. However, all H was sold on DEX versus a centralized exchange. It was drained for over 19 million. H token crashed 80%. I think I saw it as low as 90%. Here's what the team said. We've detected a security incident involving compromise of private keys belonging to a member of the Humanity Foundation. As a precaution, please do not interact with the bridge or liquidity pools until we confirm it's safe. We're already working with security experts and exchange partners on resolution. We're deeply sorry. Protecting the community is a responsibility. We'll keep you updated every step of the way. And then also from the official account. But who knows if it was an inside job or not. Mert says, remember these guys came to me for an angel investment a year or two ago. I asked how long vesting is, and they said there's no vesting token next week for KOLs. I don't know if that's true, at least not per token unlocks. It said everything was 12-month cliff, and I think linear vesting. Yeah. Yep.
Can't you tell if they're new tokens versus like? So wait, so that the person minted new tokens, or they were able to hack and unlock their tokens?
I'm reading both. One said they minted new tokens. Another said they got, what foundation member got exploited, and I wonder if what they did is somehow unlocked the team tokens. I don't know, but Zach has also followed up, said, no, it's actually much funnier. The team basically got front ran by the attacker. So it says, after further analysis of the laundering, it seems the sketchy market maker / OTC and private key compromise are independent of one another and not related. Kind of funny. The team was pumping the token for weeks, only to have gotten wrecked shortly before the upcoming unlock later this month. So I am gonna pat myself on the back. I'm not a technical analyst. I'm not a chart, or I don't read deeply into blockchain data. But I did, like, this was my own, and this isn't like, I'm sure I'm not the only one who, obviously not the only one who did this, but I didn't see anyone have this take. I just saw the price action. It was my own independent thought, my own independent thesis and take was, why is it pumping 300%? Then I see things are unlocking here later this month. Actually, you know what it was? I saw a post. Who was the account? It was a Pudgy Penguin PFP. They didn't have the name of the token, just the chart. And they said, why is no one talking about this? And so I did a little research. It found it was Humanity. And I responded that, yeah, there's a pump, but it's unlocks are, here in a couple weeks on June 25th. So again, been around the space long enough to know that it's likely that this pump was manufactured by the team, by market makers, because they wanted to pump price up so they, again, just as I said, so they could sell into the or sell their unlocks into the pump. And which to me, as I said, I'm going to open a short, but I was going to wait until closer to the 25th. I should have opened it as soon as I developed the thesis, just kept leverage low. The only reason I didn't open the short was because who knows if this exploit doesn't occur, they may have continued to pump the price, but it was like a $7 billion fully diluted valuation. Riddle me that. Made no sense. And up from like, again, up 300-400% in the last month. Even where it started from probably didn't make any sense, but it just seemed very, very manufactured, high probability. Everyone who's getting unlocked tokens sells, dumps their tokens, and would crash the price. So pretty easy. This isn't like genius level stuff. It's just something that up until now, now everyone's going to be talking about it. It's going to be a lot of eyes on it. And the trade's probably not nearly as good. But had I just opened the trade, kept leverage very low, and just shorted it, I would have, with anything with size, would have absolutely printed on this sell-off. Anyways, that is, I do think token unlocks are a good thing to keep an eye on. We don't, surprisingly, I don't see CT talking about it that often. And I mean, some that, this unlocks every month and you can see it in the price action, but like that first unlock, after they've had to, they had to vest for a year. That first one, it's such an easy negative catalyst, such an easy thing to sell into that I'm surprised we don't see more people talking about that. I know it's not a new strategy, but we don't see people talking about it nearly as often as I think they should, because it's almost every time. Like there's very few exceptions that these things don't sell off. Here's another. I'm just kind of sharing in real time. This is, I'll read it. I haven't read it yet, so it could be a bad post, but just hit my feed. Funny.
What is it? Is it? I mean, I'm ignorant, and maybe I'm not the only one, but is it part of a protocol? Is it just a shit coin? Is it part of an NFT project? What is it?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a shit coin, but it is introducing the internet's trust layer, from KYC to fostering brand loyalty. Unlock insights you can trust without holding any user data. So in all seriousness, not too different from a thesis standpoint. Just again, reading the TLDR, is that an oxymoron? Until now, the internet ran on claims, not truth. Humanity delivers verification every claim. Humanity replaces trust through bureaucracy with trust through cryptography without demanding an entire overhaul of legacy systems. Its verification system uses zero knowledge proofs to prove personal information such as age, income, identity without disclosing or underlying data to third parties. This enables top brands to leverage shared data insights for conducting KYC, building loyalty, and moving in more without forcing users or companies to give up or manage sensitive data. So in all seriousness, similar but different. I'm going to be a little biased, and they're a partner, so you could say my love's been bought. But the more I've talked to them and learned, it's similar to what Concordium is building, albeit at a much lower price point in terms of a market cap and token. And while they do say one of their bullet points here is fraud-resistant AI-proof verification, Concordium's they've done this and more. Concordium's delivered this solution and the AI solution where holding those AI agents accountable, and not just maybe humanity's heading there as well. But right now it seems primarily just human validity, human ID. Who's the human? What's their age? What region do they live in? Without actually disclose, basically that I'm over the age of 18. I live in the US, in the region of Florida, and therefore anything that requires that in terms of eligibility, I'm eligible. You can see that without knowing my actual address or exactly how old I am, etc. So I think this stuff really matters. But again, for the valuation it was at, with really hardly anyone talking about it, led me to believe it was just very, very much so manufactured.
So is this just so this is a governance token then? What is?
Yeah, essentially, I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'd have to go
So
further.
give you voting rights or
I'm guessing,
whatever, or something, or
I would assume so. Maybe there is some it says, your identity on chain, join Humanity Protocol and experience the future of on-chain identity verification and unlock new possibilities. Enterprises, solutions, and see, I don't, without reading the light paper, I don't know exactly what the token would be for. I'm guessing, to your point, probably some governance rights, but it's not like unless I'm mistaken, it's not one that is like generating millions or billions of dollars like a Hyperliquid, to where there is again, I'll share that, like, the thesis makes sense. I'm not knocking the concept. The concept, the thesis makes a lot of sense. Not too different from Concordium when they talk about 100 trillion lost annually to scams and online fraud, 200 billion spent on compliance activities such as KYC and AML, significant economic waste due to bot-generated traffic, synthetic identities, and spam with bad bots accounting for up to 73% of the internet traffic, further losses in productivity, user trust, and institutional reputation. Like, working to solve that, it's makes sense. Like, it's a needed. I just, as I mentioned,
I don't understand it. Like, in 2026, the value of governance tokens.
Well, that's
like,
it. That's where, like, the concept makes sense. The protocol makes sense. Does it make sense that the token's valued at $7 billion for a governance token? No.
That's what I don't understand. Like, what? Like, you're not. If there's no, I guess maybe, I don't know. Like, I guess can the value of the company directly impact the value of the governance token? Like, what are you governing? Like, I don't know. I don't understand how a token, that the only point of the token is for you to say that, like, you get to vote. If that's what it is, right? If we're talking about like voting rights and stuff like that, like, what is the, I don't know. I guess maybe I just don't completely understand the point of a governance token too, which I thought I did. Like, how this governance token is worth $7 billion. I don't get it. Like, there's no, I don't know. Maybe somebody smarter than me needs to explain why a governance token for this protocol is worth $7 billion.
Yeah, I mean, I even just went through their tokenomics section of the light paper, and I don't really see much about what does the actual token do. Like, again, it talks more about like what problems they're solving, credit and lending, prove creditworthiness or financial history without exposing raw bank data, insurance verification, anti-fraud and DeFi, employment history, certifications, education, licensing, compliance, verified community membership, reputation systems, DAO voting and governance. But
yeah, so you're voting in the DAO, and like again, like, if the company all of a sudden goes to 100 billion, right? Like, I'm assuming you're not getting any, proceeds from net profit and things like that by holding the token. So where's people just think it's going to be cool to vote in the DAO, so it's a $7 billion token? I
mean, to put it in perspective, I know I sound biased because they are a partner. They're not paying me to say this. Like, it was a sponsored interview, and I don't have to continue to talk about, Concordium out. So there's no requirement to talk about Concordium today. I hold no token yet. I plan to buy some Concordium token because I'm bullish on what they're building now. And it is coming, usually, some of these deals are like token deals, but we were introduced through one of our agencies, Reach, and so our compensation is just ends up being they do the swaps. It's just US dollars. Concordium's token, which has been out since 21, 22. It's been out longer, more mature. The total supply is 14.5 billion. CCD is the ticker. And it is circulating supply is 12.6 billion. So there's still some to unlock, but not nearly as much as the unlock for something like Humanity. The market cap on Concordium on CCD is 58 million. The fully diluted value is 66 million. Which I don't like. I'm not commenting like is that too high? Is that too low? I think it's down 24% of the month. Seemed like potentially a good opportunity to buy the dip. Again, they're not telling me to talk about this. They're not telling me part of our campaign was nothing about the token at all. Nothing about price action. This is just me. These are my sole opinions. It's not the team saying this, just to be clear. Relative to Humanity, which is newer, not nearly as mature in terms of circulating tokens and history, it's fully diluted value. Let me check now because it did just sell off like 80%. So things are, but prior to the sell off, it was trading at a $7 billion FDV. This morning, after a down, it's bounced a little bit, but down 65% on the day. It's still at the market cap is 662 million, and FDV is 2.33 billion. So it's down from like 7 billion to 2.3 billion, but still FDV, fully diluted value of 23 billion. The market cap is over 10x that of Concordium, and you've got so much more. Like the total supply of Humanity is 10 billion tokens, and there's only 2.83 circulating. So it's only you got one that is almost fully circulated. The other one is just getting started, and call it 28%. Yeah, 28.32% of the supply is in circulation. And like, I don't know what to say. I don't know anyone at Humanity. I'm not taking shots, but if you don't think that at least a percentage, if not a good percentage of the team and investors and everyone's getting their tokens unlocked on the 25th of this month, you don't think they're selling, I don't know what to tell you. Now, is this still a trade here? I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it, because and also because they've got so much attention called to them due to this exploit, they may not manufacture a pump like they just did. Let me zoom out a month so you can see that they're here it's treading along. This is still in end of May. Is that right? Yeah, end of May. It was at the token with it was actually in end of May. It was still below what the current price is after this exploit. It ran up from 0.21 end of May to 75 cents. So it almost 4x'd in less than a week on no catalyst.
Was there initial, did they announce like an initial investment, or like what was the initial sale? Like how much did they raise?
Good question. I did see there was a KOL round. I saw some people talking about taking victory laps actually on yesterday's price before this crash. They in January of this year, they were valued at 1.1 billion after the latest fundraise it was co-led by Pantera Capital and Jump. They raised it was a $20 million round at a $1.1 billion valuation. So relative, again, all that to be said, it makes me more bullish on Concordium. If this thing's going to be valued at somewhere between 1 and 7 billion, I think Concordium at 60 million or whatever seems like a nice little discount.
Are both of those essentially like B2B or B2P, right? So they're providing a service for businesses that can implement, like, so for example, we have things at BZ where we have to KYC and whatever for. So essentially we would go to one of these companies and say like, hey, we want to utilize your service or to KYC, or is this like utilizing their service to market to specific people? Like,
both.
What is
both enterprise solutions as well as just individuals? Like, so yes, for a business, and then also if, for instance, if Kaushi was all online and they, this $1 million share of $1 million for picking the World Cup winner contest, if they wanted to give me the opportunity to verify where I lived, what region I lived in, without actually having to verify it, like they basically know exactly where I live. Whereas in theory, with something like Concordium or Humanity, they could know that I'm eligible without actually knowing where I live as just an individual. So individuals could use it as well as solutions like you just described for the enterprise space.
So you could create like geofencing or whatever.
Yes,
right? Like
correct.
Like I only want to make this available to people in in Florida.
Correct.
And with their service, you could geofence your users to people only in Florida.
Yes, geofencing, age gating, all that without actually having to KYC. So I love the theory. I love the thesis. I love the concept. And that said, relative, it just makes you that much more bullish on Concordium. And I will be telegraphing this. I'll let you know when I do the actual buy, but I am planning on picking up a bag. I'll take some of my proceeds for that campaign and roll it right back into a token. Before I do forget, speaking of BZ and B2B, I pinned up Andrea's post from yesterday. BZ is hiring a chief of staff. In all seriousness, you've got experience, operate at a high level, and want to help build something special. My DMs are open. So just giving that some love and attention. Anyone in the job market, the great company, also a partner here. They sponsor Coffee with Captain and allows us to give away a claw pool every week. It's a $50 claw pool on Fridays, and then a monthly $250 gold machine claw pool. And what we're going to do, not for June, but for July, the community member of the month for Coffee with Captain and recipient of that $250 BZ gold machine claw pool is going to be the winner of the World Cup contest, not the Cauchy one. That's free to enter, and you're going to, if you win, if you pick the right winner, you're going to get your share of $1 million. The underdog contest, which I have linked up above, this is just Coffee with Captain. So you're not competing against millions of other people like you are in Cauchy. This one you're competing against right now. It's like a half dozen other people from Coffee with Captain. And, we expect some more as we get closer to kickoff time, but that starts in 2 days. So it's you probably have a maybe like a 1 in 10 chance if it doubles, entries double between now and lock before the World Cup starts, to win a $250 BZ claw pool. And that's like, I mean,
Someone just turned that into $1,200.
Exactly. Yep. That was just the $50 claw pool that Mike, he took his swap and then.
He hit the grail in the 50.
Yep. He hit the grail in the 50.
Oh, I thought that was the 250 claw pool that he got that. So he pulled the actual grail in the ultra rare in the 50.
Yep. So if you missed it last Friday, Mike got the $50 weekly community, $50 claw pool. His card was like $52. I think he did the swap. I think I sent him like $51.70 or like say $52. And so he took the $50 and ran another one, and hit the $1,200 grail in the $50 machine. So could be you. And if you win this World Cup tournament, again, free to enter. You don't even have to load any money on Underdog. It's like you can just create your account using the ref link up top. That'll automatically bring you into the Coffee with Captain group for this World Cup bracket. And basically you just pick you pick first and second place for each group. And then you pick of the third place winners, 8 of those 12 will advance. And then you basically fill out the bracket for the finals. And there's a scoring system. Like if you get the finals right, that's more points than getting like a first round of the knockout right. And at the end, whoever has the most points at the end wins. And a $250 claw pool is like a base item is 140 to 250. So if you win this Coffee with Captain or World Cup tournament in July, you'll do a claw pool, and like the worst case, unless they change it, the worst case you'd win $140, but you have the potential to win. Right now the top item is a $5,000 card. So free to enter right now. You be like 1 of 10 people that wins, and you got a shot at a $5,000 pool. Not a bad. That is definitely plus EV any way you do the math. So good luck to all. Appreciate everyone who's already joined. And it is pinned up top. Should be not all the way to the left, but one in from the left, just to the right of Andrea's post. You can find that.
I'm going to do a soft announcement. Andrea also put out a post about partnerships, and we have an announcement coming with a huge partnership that we've been working on for a long time that I'm so excited about, that transcends Web3. So turn your notifications on. It's a big one.
Thank you. Yep. Good. Excited for that one. We may have to see Andrea or Pratik or someone else wants to join you on one of those days to talk about what that announcement is when you're ready. Joe, who we got to hear from yesterday, really enjoyed the conversation. A little bit of back and forth. Remind me, we checked in offline after the show, and it did remind me of the good old days. A little more chirpy, In fact, Joe, you might appreciate, because I think you've still remained in contact. Is like, yesterday inspired me. I had a conscious thought of like DMing Josh Brabowski and see if he wanted to come on the show, see if we could find something that we disagree on, and so we can go back and forth for a little bit. I enjoy the it's good little spicy coffee with Captain every once in a while. And he did, but anyways, long story short, Joe just let me know that they've actually raised a total of $50 million. Their seed round was 30 million. So in May of 2024, they raised 30 million at a $1 billion post-money valuation. And then in January of 25, not quite a year later, raised another 20 million, albeit only at 1.1 billion. Still starts with a B, but it is, a year later, just a 10% increase in valuation. Kingsway led the seed round with Polygon, Hash, Blockchain.com, Animoca, and Shima. Pantera and Jump led the A round. So I guess my question then to Joe or anyone else, I mean, I know it's more, we need to dive deeper into the infrastructure, the tokenomics, but based on what I know and what, having talked with the team and the fact that humanity has only 28% of their tokens in circulating supply, while Concordium has 80, 90% in circulating, is it safe to say that either A, even after this dump, humanity is either overvalued from a token standpoint, or B, Concordium might be undervalued? They're building similar things, both funded, deep teams, and let's see, Concordium round. Makes me, the more I learn, makes me a little more bullish. I'm talking myself into pulling the trigger there. Concordian fundraising rounds was looks like a $4 million raise in May of last year, called it a seed round, and at a $40 million valuation. So very different. A full zero separating the two. In co-investors, GSR, Capital Union. I'm not familiar with any of those participants, but I don't know. I'll probably do a little deeper dive, but right now that's where I'm leaning, and kind of kicking myself for not shorting it when I said I was going to short it. But in my defense, I thought another manufactured pump could very well be coming, and stay tuned. It very well could be. In other news, we had a big Pudgy Penguin sale. The left-facing Pudgy Penguin, the only left-facing Pudgy Penguin in the world, was purchased by Adam Weitzman. It, so if you got a Grail NFT in your collection, probably in today's world, in today's market, probably the best hands, the best wallet it could go into. It's likely not to move again. And he purchased this 6873. It's the left-facing one-of-one Pudgy Penguin. And he doesn't list the I can't remember what it was, like 250K, I think is what it sold for. It was, exactly 250K. Look at that. 146 ETH or 250K. It was OTC. It's the lowest this penguin has sold for since mint. That's wild. So it minted and then sold for 150 ETH, then sold for 225 ETH, then sold for 400 ETH, then 200 ETH, and then yesterday rather, 146 ETH. Congratulations to the seller and the buyer. And another Adam just continues to build the.
When it sold for 400 ETH, what was he?
Good question. I think that was Kinky Bedbugs that bought it for 400 ETH, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't remember exactly. So in addition to the big Pudgy sale, we had actually it's good time to roll right in. It's almost 9 o'clock. Good time to roll right into a daily market update, and I can just share everything else that I'm looking at, and then we will talk about this Y2026K Mythos concern today, and maybe what you can do to get ahead of it, and proper precautions. We won't spend a whole lot of time because we did have a good day yesterday with Drew talking security and what we can do to get ahead of yourselves. And already shared, revoke.cash is step one. But let's do this. Let's get a quick daily market update in here. Yeah, only in Web3. Only in Web3. This is the daily market update on Coffee with Captain. We'll be right back on the other side of this intro if I can find it. Here we are. Daily market update.
Coffee brewing. Yeah, the market's in play. Charts on the screen. What the numbers gonna say? We got offer in the cup every single day. Coffee with Captain. Market update on the way.
Alrighty, we're gonna start with the good old. I was talking Beezy, so that QR code will take you to the Beezy ref link. If you don't have a Beezy account, since we were talking about that, we'll swap that out for our newsletter here in a bit. But good opportunity to give that ref link some love. The tokens, kind of a red day. It is a red day, but not tremendous. As far as like some of the sell-offs we've seen. Bitcoin down 1.6% to 62,547. ETH down 1% to 1673. BNB down 1%. XRP down basically flat. Solana down 1.4%. It's $66. Tron down 1%. Hyperliquid down 1%. It's $62. Doge down 1%. Leo down 1%. Zcash recovering. It's up 10% after its sell-off. It's recovered pretty nicely actually. Still not touching it myself, but that's just me. Stellar down 1%. Canton up 6% on the day. Probably the big winner of the majors here, or at least the mid majors. Monero up 2%, and mostly a red day with a few winners sprinkled out. WorldCoin, one that I guess is probably going to warrant an actual deeper conversation at some point here. It's up 9% on the day and up 26% on the week as Mythos nears, albeit different. WorldCoin is created by Sam Altman and I guess it's not exactly the OpenAI team, but Mythos being launched today by Anthropic. Heading over to NFTs, we've got I prefer the old charting or NFT volume. The Globs, a new mint. I know nothing about it, but it did 129 ETH of volume, and pretty. I don't know how I missed this one because I'm guessing it was a free mint. I'll just double click and we'll see activity. Yeah, these not free, but minted for 0.001 ETH or $2.50, and it's basically 10x for mint. So up from 0.0015 to 0.0165. So a little more than a 10x. These little globs is a supply of 10,000. Unique ownership's 30%, so not great. But one just sold, a rare one just sold for 0.22. This is this number 16 in terms of the rarity chart. Spicy little glob. Oh my goodness! And look who bought it. It's I've got a that's hilarious. I have a LARPer. This is two people this week asked if this is me. No, this is not me. But this person is likes my PFP, likes the Bored Ape Yacht Club hat, and likes my my post I shared that we're so back. So why they've decided to use my PFP, I have no idea. But it's definitely not me. And they've been pretty active. Holy moly, these are just offers. Okay. Bought it and then relisted for 0.3. Really fired a lot of offers here. Very active. It's bot-ish activity. But it holds a Del Mundo. I think that's what someone was looking at, like wanted to make an offer or thinking about buying, which prompted a couple people to ask if it was me, but no, not me. And yeah, this person holds a bunch of these globs, a Yugen leader, a Del Mundo, and an Arbzuki. Nice PFP though. Anyways, back to trending NFTs. If anyone knows what the globs are about, I'm guessing it's just a low-cost free mint or low-cost mint for a couple bucks, and it's 10x. So we'll see if it was short-lived or continues on tomorrow. Apes are up 1.5%, back over 9 ETH once again, 9.13. Pudgy's up 4% to 4.47. Hyper up 3% to 272 hype. Little Pudgy's up 2% to 0.45. Non-playable character giving up some of their pump. They're down 19% of the day to 0.0678. Rare Pepe. That's an interesting collection. We've never really done a deep dive on, but definitely an interesting OG collection. Mutants up 0.3% to 1.364. Clone X up 1% to 0.3. Good Vibes Club getting a nice little pump up 7% of the day to 0.51. The Demons looks like a new mint as well. Maybe free, I'm guessing, because it's still 0.0008, but it did 10 ETH of volume on that low price. Azuki down 2%. VeeFriends down 6% on the day to 1.66. Seeing it all over my multiple timelines. I saw VeeFriends on X. I saw people talking about VeeFriends on Instagram, and I saw people talking about VeeFriends on Facebook. Any idea what? It was the same conversation on all of those channels. I just Mr. Miyagi the little fly. It's my I hope that got caught on video. That'd be pretty sweet. Clip that if so. Any guesses what I was seeing? It was the same VeeFriends conversation on all of those social channels. So good job to VeeFriends getting out there. Also,
was it about their new trading cards?
It was, but this was one card in particular. Any guesses which one?
The Black Hat?
Nope. Also a good one. But this is the one
Adam owns.
This one here, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast first ever autograph card. This is a 1 of 1. There's also I saw at least another 1 of 5 autograph Mr. Beast. But yeah, Mr. Beast autograph, first ever autograph card. So the Mr. Beast rookie card, essentially the autograph rookie card in this Topps Chrome collection. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the market. I'd rather collect some Wimby rookies than a Mr. Beast. But if this thing pops and you see someone pull this and sells for a big dollar amount, I think you could see a lot of more attention on this VeeFriends collection. They did have, I saw there's a bounty on the very Black Cat, if that was Imlo or who mentioned that, for I want to say 100K. Someone's already offering very. I think it's $100 to $150 bounty that someone is already offering. Yep, 100K. Yeah, so if you're getting those VeeFriends card, this is when we did the.
How many are there?
This one is just a 1 of 1. This one here is the Superfractor, Erupt Superfractor. So this one's a 1 of 1, and someone's got a $100,000 bounty on it. So if you pull this, I mean, I'd say if you pull any of these super rare ones, if you pull like a 1 of 1, a 1 of 5, if you pull a very Black Cat, if you pull Mr. Beast, I mean, maybe you want to get it graded. I just would not recommend dumping it to your first offer because there's some big money going at this collection, and this is their second drop too. So I think
if you get it graded at what price are they going to charge you? Are they going to charge you $10,000 or whatever to grade it?
Oh, because they're charging based on the price of the card.
Yeah, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah, and how soon could you get it back? I don't know. It's a good question. We might need Joey for that one. Iceman, do you know? Check 1, check 2. We are back. Whew. Appreciate everyone who dealing with all the technical challenges. The first one was on me. The lack of muting or unmuting was on me. This one just crashed, but we're back. We are back. Yes, if you pull that Mr. Beast, I would make a spectacle about it. Calkin Golden, or your favorite, big card pack ripper influencer, or auctioneer. The Mr. Beast 1 of 1. You were correct. At Be Epic, that is the one I was referencing. Although that super fractor, erupt super fractor, very, 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 very black cat is also already has $100,000 bounty on it. So awesome, good work on Gary. I mean, quite frankly, the team does not get enough credit. Also, it reminds me, I don't see Jeremy out there. We were supposed to, we'd offered Gary to come on and talk about this set, or this drop closer to drop day, and it just snuck up on me that it's already June. So my apologies for not following up and booking that. But Jeremy, I will, if you catch the recording there, Jeremy's in here almost every morning, but I don't see him today. So I will we'll check in. We'll see if we can get Gary on maybe tomorrow. Actually, we have 2 guests tomorrow, so maybe we can do Thursday. I'm going to take a beat there. I know Imlo and Iceman, I believe both of you came up to talk about this VeeFriends Chrome drop. Anything else that you wanted to share on that, or anything that I didn't necessarily hit on that you feel is noteworthy to talk about these VeeFriends collectible cards?
Just that trading cards in general have been popping off. So, I mean, it would make sense for some of these to do well, especially if there are bounties on some of them. I wonder what the secondary market's going to be like for just regular cards or regular packs.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't really have insight into that. I just think it's cool that Gary's doing it, and that we're having crypto art basically being distributed at Target again and Walmart.
Pretty sweet,
and whatever.
man. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Like, it's really not getting near enough attention, at least not on my timeline, my algorithm. And you talk about NFTs and utility NFTs. VeeFriends nailed it, man. Like, first of all, it was the 3-year membership, the 3-year pass to the conference. And
I also think that you actually, if you have a VeeFriends, you might be able to access, like, buy these cards separately, like online.
No, they already did. Yeah. So basically, the pre-sale, how it went is, like, you had the public, myself, you could enter a EQL, I think it's called, whatever. Like, it was a raffle.
Yeah, the
right top.
EQL line for the raffling for some of the boxes. Sorry, Cap, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you appreciate it. EQL is exactly what I was trying to get to. It was a random raffle, basically. And so anyway, if you didn't have a VeeFriends, you could enter a raffle, and then you either got lucky or didn't get lucky. VeeFriend OGs, holders of OG VeeFriends, they were able to go buy their boxes. They have their own private sale, basically. And, like, you think about using this technology as an access pass, as tickets, as way to reward your earliest supporters, your most loyal fans, give them access to a drop that, like, that's real utility. This is stuff that, like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the boxes that they could have bought, maybe they 2x, maybe they 5x. I don't know, but they're. I mean, based on what we're seeing on this activity and the cards we're seeing that are going to be in these, I think it's safe to say, like, no one's probably taking an L if you got into pre-sale. You're flipping it for a gain, or you get one of these boxes without having to buy it at a premium, and you can chase the grails. You can rip some packs. Like, I think really well done from a utility standpoint. And here's the thing, like, I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they landed the deal with Topps. I don't know how they got beyond just VeeFriends core community excited about this, but they did. To Emily's point, it's like, this is real OG NFT art. Ties back to all these characters. I think all of minus, like, the celebrity cards that are in here, they tie back to an OG VeeFriend character. And so, like, that very, very, very black cat, like, it is, as the physical card sells for over 100K, those Grail NFTs, the very, very black cats, they theoretically could and should be increasing in value. Beyond.
Also, Cap, real quick, I'm walking the dog. I'm probably going to get into a dead zone here.
Go for it.
But just real quick, I believe the prints, also the case hits are more than the 2025 Chrome set that came out. So from just being around in the community and stuff, the alpha is the original Topps Chrome 2025 is bringing more of a premium than the 2026, but they have been on a very good run. They have some breakers actually opening up cases yesterday. I believe I seen one of the very, very lucky Black Cat spots, which would be character driven. I think it sold for $1,400 in one of the streamers that they had. It was breaking those. So,
dude, this is first time I've done some double tap and dive deeper into the collection for a while. First of all, there was a gift goat that just sold yesterday for like 6 ETH. Floor is 1.6, but people are collecting what they want to collect. People are buying rares. People are buying characters. Those very, very, very black cats, very, 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 very lucky black cats I talked about. The floor, it actually there's none listed. The floor is infinity. The last sale was 4 months ago at 22 ETH. The 22, 12, 22 top offer right now is 10 ETH. So none listed for sale, but there's a standing offer of 10 ETH on one of these. Last sale on this one here, that's I guess a spectacular. It was last sale on it was 55 ETH. And again, there's only 40 in the entire collection. And I was trying to see, you can see like the different, the GOO, that stands for Gary Owned Original. It's a card that was in his collection. And also something that I think he did well that no one really, I don't see people talk about outside of that ecosystem, where he, like he really leaned into blockchain provenance, and you can see all this one was in Gary's wallet. Therefore it's got a little bit of a premium. He's got 40 characters, but then broke it down into, there is one gold one. There's one hologram one. There's one lava one. There's one diamond one. One bubblegum one. Is that right? So of the spectaculars, there's 5 different styles of spectacular, and they're all one of ones. Again, the background being different. It's like just a really well executed collection, and I think has done a great job with utility of the collection. Speaking of utility, if you're into TCG games, Vibes TCG set 3 drops next week. Something tells me you'll like the art. Or you like the art concepting. I agree. Might know a guy that had played a role in that set. We will we'll highlight that when they drop next week. I saw Mike jumped up. Mike, did you want to get in here on the VeeFriends conversation? GM.
Yeah, GM. I did for a minute. So holding the OG VF1s, right? The VeeFriends Series 1s, NFTs, most of the time you get, let's say 20% off a comic book, something like that, up to the certain number of comic books per NFT that you hold. And then you can turn around and you can sell those, you can rip them, you can do whatever you want because they come in a single pack, like ripping cards. So he's brought that to it as well. The gift goats generally get something for free. Last year with Topps Chrome, they came out with Sapphire. The gift goats got a free Sapphire box, 32 cards. They, as a group, decided that they were going to not sell it for less than $7,000. And so they set the floor. And that's what the boxes were selling for. Yeah, it's it's pretty amazing. So,
and that's above and beyond, right? Like
they know what they're getting.
And as far as utility goes, like that's above and beyond. Like the gift goat utility, same thing with the conference. My understanding is like gift goat utility to get free stuff. I think it was, during the 3-year run, it was some item once a month. Well, that's done. That's expired. So this is all now you're seeing Gary and the VeeFriends team go above and beyond and add incremental utility to some of these different characters, some of the different traits, and it's how NFT should be done. Like I think a lot of other NFT PFPs, a lot of other NFT native brands could learn a lot from how Gary is moving, not just what they're shipping. I'm not saying everyone needs to drop comics and collectible cards, this like it how they're doing these drops, how they're adding utility to all of the OGs, to certain trades, like that. You could do the same for merch. You could do the same for in real life access. Like you could take what they're doing across different product lines, different service lines, different experiential lines, and it doesn't just have to be cards or comics as VeeFriends has done. It's also, to your point, sometimes it's a free comic. So is someone going to go buy a several $1,000 NFT to get a free comic? Probably not. But when Gary talks about this as his lifelong project and something he's building for decades, and he continually, it's like there's not the expectation of utility every month or even every year for that matter. But when he continues, if he does even at this point, if he does just a Topps Chrome set once a year and you get pre-sale access, like it's adding significant value. Like there's a chance, you could return, you see a return on that investment, maybe not on your first drop, but over the course of several years. And oh, by the way, if this thing really takes off, I mean, fast forward 10 years, how do you think this plays out if, yes, there's a lot of excitement around this drop going live at retail. Imagine 10 years from now, people are still talking about, the one of one Mr. Beast, the first one of one Mr. Beast. People are talking about this very, very, very black cat, and they're selling for the one with the $100,000 bounty goes for $1 million. I don't see that world, or in that world, I don't see it not accruing some sort of incremental value back to the original NFTs, the ones that started this whole thing, right? They are the original rookie card. It's not the 2025 or 2026 Topps version. It's the NFT. And I think it's interesting to see kind of this ebb and flow between physical cards and digital cards. Again, back to the Panini's NFT blockchain example. It was, I think, part of what's driving the surge of the Panini blockchain NFTs is the surge of the physical cards. And people wanting to collect Wimbies, and that's bringing more attention and more volume and higher dollars to the Wimby Panini NFTs. Just makes sense. Go ahead, Mike. Get back in here.
Yeah. As far as the relationship with Topps goes, I know Gary, he's even on Topps cards, right? I have 2 boxes of, they're yellow boxes. They're something 360. They're not in front of me right now, but he's had a relationship with Topps for a long time. Now, there was, as happens with NFT holders in our space, people like to complain a lot, right? Even some of the people on Whatnot who break the cards and stuff like that, I've tried to dissuade some of them from their their complaining of this new drop from Topps, because what happened last year, right? It was more of a test run last year. So as NFT holders, we got more access to the boxes and stuff that were coming out last year, because it was kind of a test run for Topps and VeeFriends together. And this year, the IP is licensed to Topps. It is a Topps product. And therefore, Topps controls the distribution, right? And Gary got as much as he could from them for the NFT holders, because that's his primary concern, is to keep bringing value to people that own the NFTs. But it wasn't as big an access as it was the year before. Well, that's because it's Topps now, and the distribution is huge compared to last year. They're in Target, they're going to be local card shops and Targets and Dick's Sporting Goods and other places, right? So that didn't happen last year. And it's kind of funny throughout, no matter what happens in the NFT space, it seems like somebody's complaining about it all the time because they're not getting their quote unquote free drop, right? But they're getting something that they wouldn't have had before. The other thing I wanted to mention was, this is a clear sign to me of somebody who has a project that has a direction they want to go, a clear, specific direction, which I see a lot of lacking in the NFT space, right? People just create NFTs, but I don't know why. I don't know what problem they're solving. I'm not sure what their exact and specific target is, what they're trying to do with it, and there's so many projects, it just makes it really difficult. So when you find something that has clear purpose, whether you like the purpose or not, I think that's why it's growing the way it is. and has grown the way it is.
Yep, I agree. Again, to Mike's point, whether you like it or not, like you don't have to be into comics, you don't have to be into collectible cards, but you got to appreciate how they're executing. If you're here and you're a fan of NFTs, you should be a fan of VeeFriends. You should be rooting for the continued success of this collection, like how they're moving, how they're rewarding their NFT holders. They're showing alignment, they're driving alignment. And to Mike's point, like you know the true north, like you know what they're building, and they've not wavered from it. They've been different from Macy's to the gumball machines, but they've not wavered from the character building, the IP building, and this long-term vision. And everything ties back to these characters, from the collectible cards to the toy machines, to obviously the OG NFTs. And I really respect the fact that he's not wavered when there was. I'm sure there's been times, probably more often than not, where both community members and non-community members, both holders and non-holders, were like, well, what does this do for me? How does this drive value back to my NFT? Probably, especially during the mania, where you had other collections dropping fungible tokens and doing airdrops and number going up, and VeeFriends certainly ran up with it as well. But as they just continue to build, not waver when the price kind of hover between this 1 and 2 ETH price point, where you saw some others get a lot more love and attention, and they continue to execute, continue to ship. Does everything stick? Is everything that something that they're going to run back and just do this again? No, but that's how you keep taking shots on goal, and they've done just that thing. Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us. We've been praising the VeeFriends team, excited about this drop. I think before you jumped in the room, unless I just didn't see you down there, I apologize, because I did say last time we had you on, last time we talked about this, we said we would we'd love to have Gary back on. He was certainly invited to talk about this drop when it came closer to drop time, and June 9th has snuck up on me. So my apologies for not reaching back out sooner. But yeah, if Gary, the team, yourself, you'd like to come back for more of like an actual full formal interview. When I say formal, about as formal as we get here on the show, but more so just give you the full, not impromptu, but an actual, the whole 9 o'clock slot one of these mornings. More than welcome. Would love to have you. I'd love to have Gary. And not to put you on the spot, but congrats. Big day. Today is the day it goes live in Target, or is that tomorrow? When does the actual retail boxes go live?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning. You can hit your local Target probably at 8 a.m. We have a store finder on VeeFriends.com/Chrome, and no apology necessary. When we schedule it, I'll be sure to wear a shirt and tie. I'll be very excited for that day. I just love popping into a space and hearing chatter on VeeFriends, so I thought I'd jump up to just offer any insight or detail where I can. But yeah, I mean, it's a massive day for us. Probably the largest catalyst for onboarding of the year. It was last year, and we anticipate that again. And I'm happy to talk about any aspect of what we're doing. At the same time that this is releasing, we actually had our most successful burn event. It's closing here in just a couple hours, but 751 book games have been burned for our new limited edition comic. And I think it's very much like what you were saying at the end there, the same way that we root for everybody. Like, I think that the approach that VeeFriends is taking to character development and development of our NFT demand should be supported broadly, and has been very consistent from the very beginning. Like, there's actually clips of Gary when he was first drawing these characters, talking about card sets, talking about comics, talking about these form factors that he knew, the storytelling, and gaming, which we haven't gotten to yet. But like 750 book games, which are the books that people got buying a dozen back in 2021. Right now, I think before we made this announcement, they were closer to $70-$80. But like, this is a great way to either get liquidity or get something very cool. But I think in context, we're talking about like $70,000 worth of games, were 75,000 actually burned for a limited edition comic. And so I actually pulled the numbers yesterday. This was 200 burns ago, but since our announcement, 400 book games were sold, and half of those were immediately burned, which means that of course you're going to have speculators. It's the first of its kind. People are excited, but we're trying to build programs that meet people where they are, both within our space and outside, right? Like there is a huge contingent that collects Chrome worldwide. It's one of, if not the most established brand names in collectible cards. And yeah, we're giving it our all, like everybody's all hands on deck, pedal to the metal for not just this week, but probably the next couple months up until national, and, really making sure that people who get the itch, get curious, connect with the character, that they have a whole rich ecosystem to dive into, leading that curiosity into what is the broader community here across Discord and X and everything else.
It's awesome, man. That's awesome. Love to hear it. Congrats. And just a couple quick questions I get in follow up. Like the burning the book games, get the comic book. Is it as simple as you burn one, you get the comic, or is there more?
Yeah. Guaranteed exchange. Our comics are our main story driver. We've done 17 so far, and the rare foils, because they come in packs, and we've seen some pretty interesting dynamics on the foils. I mean, out of $2.99 selling for a couple $100, out of 10 gold foils selling for $1,500 to $3,000. And so naturally people did that math, an exclusive, this is called the Lava. It's like a red foil for an upcoming issue. And people would rather have a Lava foil comic than at least these 750 people would rather have that than an $80 book game. And so they can exchange it. And that's what Burn Island is for. It's like, ultimately book games is supposed to be a strategy game, right? It's like, do you want to hold, sell, or exchange? And yeah, I'm really excited. This is our most successful burn to date. So
it's awesome, man.
Clearly leaning into comics is something we're going to continue to do.
Big congrats. And I said it earlier, I'm just not sure. So apologies if I'm repeating myself, but since we got you on stage, I want to make sure here, like really, really appreciate the alignment. Really appreciate that you've not wavered from, the vision from the jump, in an industry that I would imagine is very, maybe say it's hard to do in any industry, but here I'd say very challenging when it's a space that often likes to chase the new shiny toy, and there's a lot of mercenaries. And so to stick to the plan, stick to the strategy, and continue to execute, and then drive alignment time and time again with your holder base, with your supporters, to use the tech, not just for gated access to something like VCon, but then also gated access to these drops, these pre-sales, leveraging the tech where you can burn something to redeem it. Like just really leaning into the NFT space and what these things are capable of, things that you really, quite frankly, couldn't do if these were, I guess theoretically, if those book games were physical cards, could you do a burn? I guess you could have people mail them in and you could destroy it, but that just like logistically wouldn't work. Not even remotely close, or as frictionless as a
nobody at
NFT
VeeFriends wants that job. We did a sweepstakes once where you could like mail in a free entry because that's part of the whole legal landscape. It was a nightmare. No, but I do appreciate the irony of going from 12 physical books to then getting a digital NFT, which of course like ran up in value 5x, and then had this long bear market. And now you can trade it back for a new book, but just a single book, and it's super shiny and it has a great story.
I love it. I love it. Very, very cool. I have a couple of questions on the collection, this Chrome collection itself.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So one thing I got pulled up here on the video is the Road to Chrome spotlighting the sketch cards in original sketch selections in Topps Chrome. One, which is, I think, self-explanatory, is the Rare Robot. One of one, it's Gary's original sketch. The one thing that caught my eye was how many community members you featured as sketch artists in this release.
15 this year.
That's awesome. So tell me about this. Like, what are they sketching a character of an NFT they hold, or how can you? And I'm gonna step away from the video just briefly. I'll be able to hear you, but I wanted to ask that question and also if there's any. I know it's probably hard when there's so many to highlight any one individual, but if there's anything you want to call out, any of these community members you want to shout out, like I'm curious on, how did they get selected? What are they sketching? And then as a collector, if I'm not, I can see if I'm Rob and I want to collect my own card, that makes sense. why would myself or anyone that's not one of these sketch artists, why would we want to collect another community member's sketch? Can you just like, I'm really curious, and talking alignment, like regardless of your answer, I love the fact that you've incorporated so many community members into this Chrome set.
Yeah, I'll break it all down. I'm glad you brought it up because it's definitely one of my favorite parts of the set, and it's something we did last year. And it's really building on what Mike said of Gary having a longer term relationship with Topps and Michael Rubin. We've been able to work more closely on our Topps Chrome set than say like a Disney Chrome or a Star Wars Chrome typically will be. Like our VeeFriends team does a lot of the art. We work directly with them on the inserts. Like Gary and Adam specifically made this checklist versus a standard licensing agreement where you're just like, here's all our character files and like, make something great. The sketch cards. So you actually talked about 3 different aspects there. There's an original art card, which is that rare robot you're looking at. That's like a rare insert, which in addition to featuring Gary's artwork has one-of-one parallels. But it's very standard in these Chrome sets to have one-of-one sketch cards, and Topps has a series. They have a roster of artists. I don't know how many, but I would say it's probably in the 100 to 200 range of artists that when they have a new set, get contacted and say, hey, we have Teletubbies, Ninja Turtles, VeeFriends is coming up. Do you want to draw sketch cards? They say yes, and how many, and they receive blank cards. So they have like a little board design on the border, but they're blank cards. They can use whatever medium they want, pencil, color, pencil, marker, paint. And then they send those back to Topps to be included in the packs. Gary has his own sketch cards as well. I think he's got like 11 in the set this year, but there are hundreds of these sketch cards throughout the set, but they're all one-of-ones. They're all unique. They're signed by the artist on the back. And we have some really cool, like a lot of the bigger names in comics that we've been working with are in the set this year. I think I know for sure Jim Rugg. I think Rob Liefeld, who created Deadpool, is in the set this year. And one thing that we did is, and we started this last year, we individually reached out to people who just represent VeeFriends, and we were able to get them one sketch card to draw a character of their choosing. And we did the same. So they don't need to like necessarily own the NFT. I think they all do. It was really more about what is their character maxi. Like all of the people that you see in the set this year are maxis. They're champions of the characters that they were asked to draw. And so, yeah, we send them one card, they do their art, they send it back, Top puts it in the packs. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to shout them all out. They're all incredible people. We have a committee internally. We knew this was coming. There's obviously 3 or 4 times as many people that are worthy of being selected, but this is the second Topps. It's not the last. And yeah, it was awesome. I actually got to make the calls to those people and be like, hey, we'd like to have you in the sketch artist set. And it was just like, it was one of the best parts of my year, actually, to see those reactions. It's a big deal. Like even just being on a Topps Chrome checklist, having your name on the official list, like is a really big deal for our community. And shout out to Gary for having the idea in the first place.
I love it, man. Really, really cool. Really well done. Doubling down on just the alignment from the community at large, the more active participants. I'm guessing somewhat of a mix, but of these, of the ones that got included in this, how many of them would you say, like ballpark, half, a quarter, 100% of them are artists in their own right? Like they're aspiring artists or they're established artists. And so beyond just getting included, this could be a springboard in their career.
I think I would say like 80% probably. And some of them, like this is also just a detail in knowing your community. Like Jeremy Grails, who has the Jolly Jacko PFP, he actually like went to art school, and I didn't know this at the time. We selected him because he's just such a big Jolly Jacko fan. He's a big collector. But turns out like he works in web design, but he actually did physical art throughout like his early career, and he was like, this is actually the first time I've been, you know, asked to do this by hand in a while. So that got him excited. And I know Anthony used to do like comic strips. So a lot of them have an art background. Some of them, I would say, like truly aspiring artists, people who are looking to make a career in art, probably closer to 20-30%, but it's a mix, you know, across the board. And then there's some folks that don't have any art background at all. It's more just like a way to show appreciation for people who have given a lot to the community.
Very cool. Very cool. I really, really appreciate the approach, how you all are building, and rooting for not just this to be a success, but the one that, you know, you mentioned in there. This is the second, not the last, Topps Chrome drop, and this is again, if you fast forward a few years, these things, this, whether it's these sketch cards, or the Mr. Beast 101, or the very, 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 very Black Cat, these things are still fetching a premium down the road. It's hard for me to see that world where you're not seeing significant value accrue back to the, not just the OG NFTs, but things like book games. Like, it's just like this, using the technology to provide utility, but also access, like to be able to have this opportunity. There's probably a lot of people that are, that are into cards, that are into comics, that would love to participate in something like this. Well, and I guess they may be happy to expand on this, because someone, I think it was Smokey J, mentioned that this was, I think, specific to the pre-sale, that you don't have to, well, you do get the advantage of the pre-sale by holding an OG NFT. He mentioned you could just simply join the community and also get access. Can you expand on that? Is that beyond the EQL, the raffle? Is there other ways for non-holders to also participate in this drop or this set?
Yeah, great question. Frankly, this drop is for non-holders, right? Like, and Gary says it all the time, we're releasing 2 or 3 meaningful products every month, and by no means do we expect holders to grab them all. It's all a discovery surface, right? And building out the stories. This one having one of the largest reach. I mean, we have, so if your like homepage for all of this information is going to be VeeFriends.com/Chrome. That's where you have the checklist odds, all the blogs that we've written about the different inserts, and you have the store locator. The store locator has over 3,500 stores across the country that are going to be carrying it. Most of them are Target stores and GameStop. Target and GameStop. I heard that GameStop might be selling above MSRP, but Target and Dick's Sporting Goods should have blasters and mega boxes at MSRP. And if I'm already speaking French for some people, the Chrome comes in 3 different box types. The hobby box has 18 packs. It's like, it's the one that most breakers will have. Then you have the mega box, which is in the middle, 8 packs, more cards. And then you have the value box, which is $30, which is like, if you want to just like experience it, like the same way you want to go to McDonald's and grab a Doodles cup when that's going on, like go to your local Target and ask them if they have blaster boxes. It'll be a fun rip. And, you know, frankly, you do have a chance at some pretty exciting hits. Did you talk about the fact that there's a 100K bounty on the Black Cat?
We did. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Now that is in, so you could pull that one of one, very, very Black Cat, the Erupt.
Yeah, nobody knows what box SKU that's
okay.
In. It could like, so there are exclusive parallels. Like there's special refractors that you can only get in each box type, but the big hits, the Erupts, which are like 3-4K cards minimum, the Stellar Haze case hits, like the ones that people are chasing, they span all SKUs. You just have a better chance of hitting them in the larger boxes. But like the one of one Black Cat last year was actually hit out of a blaster.
Sheesh.
And you know, you had mentioned about how this is an ongoing partner. You know, this is a long-term partnership with Topps. The sneaky thing about this set, somebody asked me, they were like, "Do you think this set's going to have a sophomore slump?" And the way that Gary designed it is really smart, because there were 100 characters last year, and they were all making their debut in Chrome. This year we have 200 characters. with 149 of them making their debut. So even though it's the second set, there's a ton of big characters that are going to have their first Chrome. And on the card, it actually has this badge that says first Chrome. On top of that, the Premier Chase, Cap, are you familiar with Kaboom cards?
I am, yep.
So the artists from Kaboom, Gary and AJ, his brother, have been a longtime collector of Kaboom, and they actually built a relationship with him. His name's Gyula Namath. They've been in contact for years. He drew the art for our premier insert, which is called Erupt, which, to bring it all back together, is based on Burn Island. And last year it was 10 characters. This year it's 20 characters, and those characters are some of the biggest in our world, like Adventurous Astronaut and Willful Wizard, and the Lucky Cat also has that Erupt. So anyway, back to how to get it. Just like literally just stroll into Target or GameStop. Go to the store locator at VeeFriends.com/Chrome. Hopefully you can get it at MSRP.
Sounds like the audience
if you're
is saying
international, if you're not able to get it locally, there's a ton of online retailers, specifically Italy, Spain, France, Germany, and UK for Topps Direct are all shipping international. So you don't need to pay the you don't need to pay the cross-continent shipping charges, which was a really big win for us because last year was really, really expensive to get it across overseas. But yeah, just call your local hobby shops and just get out there tomorrow.
it's awesome. And of the big box retailers, of the GameStops and Targets, it sounds like the consensus is that Target is going to be the best for actually getting an MSRP. GameStop notorious for selling above MSRP. So I mean, if you can get it, to each their own. Not telling you not to buy it. It might be the only place to get it, but if you're routing out your path tomorrow, maybe start at Target.
Alpha. If you're going to try to like hustle and get a lot and maybe arbitrage what's on eBay because they're selling for not quite a 2x right now. And also, I would caution everybody, like 2x in pre-sale does not mean 2x after public sale. Like the market's going to be volatile tomorrow and over the next couple of weeks. But one thing that's different now that didn't exist 10 years ago is the live breaking scene in the hobby. So long as these boxes continue in breaks to net out in their like pick your own character break more than the box price, we tend to see that price get supported and increase. But nonetheless, Target will open first. Like across the country, Target is going to open at 8, typically. Dick's Sporting Goods at 9, and then GameStop at 10 or 11. So if you're going to try to hit multiple stores, prioritize Target first, and then you should be able to hit 2 or 3 Targets before you hit like a Dick's Sporting Goods, or depending on how many stores are in your area.
Down bad, because I will not be able to hit a Target at 8 tomorrow unless maybe we do Cap on the Street. We haven't done that. Maybe we do Cap on the Street. And
Cap on the Street would be amazing.
See if I can get
I'm gonna head there at 8 a.m. to my local Target to see if I can score a box. So if I can get up on stage, I'll go live, see if I can find some and send some pictures of what's on the show.
Yeah, if anyone, I mean, that whether Iceman or anyone else, if you score a pack tomorrow and you want to rip it on stream, let me know. I'll bring you on StreamYard. We'll get you the link. We'll do some live pack ripping. That'll be fun. And you get the coffee with Captain Pump almost guaranteed. You may not get that Mr. Beast 1 of 1, but you'll pull a grail for sure. Speaking of so 200 characters in this set, how many are in how many VeeFriend OG characters are there in VeeFriends 1?
So the numbers get a little weird. We generally say 250 plus because Series 1 has 268, but 32 of those are the access characters where Gary was doing FaceTime calls and playing tennis. And like we have a character called the Tennis Elbow. It was literally a token where you got to play tennis with Gary every year. Those access characters didn't move over to Series 2, and Gary added 15 new characters. So Series 2 is 250 characters. And given that those retired ones do come back, like one was just featured in a comic, they're still VeeFriends. We just generally round up to 250.
I love it. And this Mr. Beast, there's a Mr. Beast 1 of 1 autograph. I saw another 5 of 5 autograph.
The Mr. Beast is crazy. This is his first ever pack pulled card.
Really crazy. Like I think that thing, I mean, is the, and it's hard to say, but like obviously there's already a 100K bounty on the very, very, very lucky black cat. Do we think that one-on-one Mr. Beast is that if there's one grail chase, like one chase item in the entire set, does that stand at the top? Do you expect that to go for even more than the very, very, very black cat?
I think I do. You know, on our website we have a bunch of blogs, and we actually put out a blog from Adam Rips, who's basically Gary's right-hand man in all this. He wrote the top 121 cards to chase. Now, rightfully so, he put the black cat at number 1, but he put the Mr. Beast Superfractor at number actually he put it at number 3 after the base. But like, to be fair, here's how I would look at this. Like, the reason that these cards accrue value in large part is because of their cultural impact and their influence. 100 grand for a Superfractor black cat, I would say, is baking in future cultural impact, whereas you can really measure the cultural, like Mr. Beast could, God forbid, die tomorrow and his impact would still be incredibly remembered worldwide, like all time, right? Like, he is the all-time YouTuber and he's expanded to be so much more than that. So yeah, I would be, it's impossible to know because you need a counterparty, but like, I would be shocked if this card goes for less than 100 grand.
Is there other content creators as well beyond Mr. Beast?
Yeah, so last year we had an entrepreneur set. This year we have a content creator set. So we have a character called the Content Condor. So these are the Content Condor's favorite content creators. I know it's kind of a mouthful, but we have Gary Vaynerchuk, of course. We have Livy Dunn. We have Clicks and Mongrel, who are big e-gamers. Who else? I'll have to find the list. I know that Jake Paul has an autograph. I think there's about a dozen. Mel Robbins is in the set, and a few more.
Do you if I can ask, like, I've got pulled up on stream here this 1986 football, the tome.
That's a fun one.
I love it. You have 25 characters playing football and paying homage to the legendary 1986 Topps football. It's vintage cardboard nostalgia meets VeeFriends energy with the Jerry Rice rookie styling intact. I was searching. If you saw me searching in my closet there, I was trying to find this very Jerry Rice rookie card. Didn't even realize that you actually call it out by name. I saw the background, immediately knew what it was. This is probably my grail. It's not even graded, but it would probably be my grail cardboard in my collection is the Jerry Rice rookie card. I know it's not like uber rare. I'm certainly not the only one that has it by any stretch, but it's just like,
no, but it's iconic. It's not about how rare it is.
Yep.
It's the Jerry Rice rookie.
Exactly where I was going to go with it. You talk about like the social impact and in like, it's just something for anyone like my age. If you were collecting cards in the 80s, in the early 90s, like, you didn't have a real collection if you didn't have a Jerry Rice rookie card in your set. There was other cards more valuable, but it was an iconic, legendary, like truly a legendary card. And I guess my question is like, I know you said you're going back and forth with Topps, and that was another question or thought is like, I would have to imagine that, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this, like this set, this drop, safe to say that it means more to VeeFriends than the average drop means to Disney or Star Wars on another non-sports set, right?
Absolutely.
Like, they're just sending off their artwork and say, yeah, do whatever you want with it, where you guys are actually going back and forth and you're, putting creative, not just creative and thought into the thoughtful, approach into the IP, but incorporating your community. And just, it seems like this to me, like, I know I come from a biased perspective, but I would think you think about like these card shows, like there's a there beyond just the Mr. Beast, beyond just the one of ones and the autographs. Like, the fact that this is such a collaborative approach to a set, it just doesn't happen that often. And I would think like the pure collectors, even if they're not into VeeFriends, like, oh, this was a special set from Topps because there's so much effort and back and forth that went into it.
Yeah, that's right. I can't speak for the other processes, but I know that Disney and Star Wars and other Chrome sets, like those IPs they can't be nearly as involved as we are. I mean, our team is doing a lot of the art. We actually, with a really fun story, that 1986 set, a member of our community, his name's Clemhouse. I want to shout him out. He made his way onto a Tea with Gary V stream, which is where Gary does live Q&A on Whatnot, more business focused, less VeeFriends. And he just shot his shot after last year's Chrome, and he saw sketch artists, and he said, Gary, what can I do to be a sketch artist in next year's set? And, you know, Gary's all about the vibes. He just in that moment felt it out and was like, send me an email. And instead of just getting a sketch card, it actually led to him working with the team. He made, I think, half of those 1986 artworks and did a lot of the base artwork as well. And that's the kind of thing that you would just never see otherwise for like, it's just not a typical licensing agreement, right? Like you said, you give over the high quality vectors and PNGs and stuff. You give your brand guidelines, what to do, what not to do. And then it's like, you let God take the wheel and you let Topps do their job.
Right. Yeah. Here's our IP. Here's the files. Go do your thing and then give us 20, 30, I don't know, give us 50% of the whatever. I have no idea. I'm not asking. I'm not trying to pry. It's like
this relationship is almost the opposite in that like we're working directly with Topps and we have certain limitations therein, but like Gary and Adam literally determined every single character in every single insert, worked with them on sampling and getting everything the way that they wanted it to be. And they were able to include things like that 1986. Like, you know, last year we had 1975 because we're playing on the anniversary trope. So the Topps Baseball 1975 is another sort of iconic set. So every card in that set is out of 75, the same way that this set is out of 86. And it's also going back to the discovery layer of we have people who, you know, they're getting interested in VeeFriends either because they hear about Gary or they're seeing what's going on in fictional IP, Pokemon, One Piece, and the like. They hear about this new Chrome drop, and then it's this insert which is nostalgic for them as longtime hobbyists. Be like, oh, that's what I'm going to lock in on, or that's how they find their character. And like we saw that play out in real time, like literally just like, you know, OG baseball collectors from that era being like, I've got to have that set. And I think we're going to see the same thing this year with football and people who feel nostalgic about the Jerry Rice set.
So, and sorry just for kind of jumping around here with the different questions. I appreciate everyone on stage. As long as Jeremy can hang out, we can go past 10 and get to any hands. We'll get any questions that are pending as long as he's able to. Circling back a little bit, I mentioned Smokey J said early access is not just for NFT holders. All you had to do is sign up for the VeeFriends community. I got my boxes coming early. What for someone if they like tomorrow go to Target, go to GameStop, go to your local sports place and attempt to buy at retail for the whether it's the third edition, the Topps Chrome next year or another comic. If someone isn't you're not able to go pick up a VeeFriend 1 today. But they want to participate. They want to get involved. They'd like access. There's an opportunity to join the email newsletter or drop your email on VeeFriends.com. I'm guessing you join the Discord. What like so if someone's listening in, they're excited today. I don't want to miss out next time. Where's the best starting point for them, and what can they do to gain some of this access or the ability to participate without having to go out and buy VeeFriend 1 yet?
Kat, people are gonna think we choreographed this interview because you're just teeing me up so well. Tonight, tune in tonight. The best way to get involved, the best way to really understand what we're about is to tune in. We're live on Whatnot or TikTok or eBay Live every single day, but tonight is very special because we're doing a midnight show at 11 p.m. Gary is going to be on, and if you can tune into a show with Gary. Because it's release night, Gary's going to be giving away an entire case of Chrome by the pack. So that's 216 packs for free. You know, we're talking about, I don't know, $7,000 in product or something, maybe a little less. But that's all giveaway. You know, just come in, ask your questions. You know, it'll be really hyped. Like I won't be surprised to see 500 to 1,000 people in the room. And that's VeeFriends.com/live. We also have an event calendar at VeeFriends.com/calendar if you want to just see high level, you know, where we're at, what our shows are, different events. But if you go to VeeFriends.com/live right now, it'll take you to Whatnot. set up an account if you aren't already, and then tune in tonight at 11 and just hang out while we do all these giveaways. Who knows, you might get lucky and get some free cards, but also you'll hear it directly from the source on what it means to have done this set, you know, and you'll also see how much fun Gary is having. Like, back to, I don't know if it was Mike or someone else that said, like, VeeFriends is a project with a clear direction. Like, this direction that VeeFriends is going and how we're building demand, which is like, by the way, for anybody who's confused, like, building demand on every single vertical that we're playing in, NFTs included, is the number one thing, maybe second only to telling meaningful stories, because that's the whole game. Like, this whole thing started with provable scarcity, but nobody gives a shit if you don't have increasing demand. And how do you increase demand? You increase demand by making an impact. And the thing that has driven impact in humans since the beginning of time has been stories. It's not actually a very complicated formula, but it's very, very difficult to pull off. And it takes just daily check-in effort, one-on-one stuff. So I would say
it may not be that
11,
difficult.
And if you want to go deeper, DM us. We also have a whole team in the DMs that will, like, go one-on-one with you, answer questions, point you in the right direction. So yeah, tune in.
It may not be difficult, but it can be a grind. It takes time and consistency. And, as someone who's showed up here every day for 1,178 shows, anyone else putting out that consistent effort, and it's not just Gary, there's a whole team behind it. And, like, the level of effort that's going into this, and the strategy from all levels, it's really impressive. I did see, I'm familiar with Whatnot. It's not something I've tuned in regularly to. I maybe have seen a stream. I saw, I was going to try to find the comment, because someone was not a fan of Whatnot. I was, but basically, like, what is the what's the downside of Whatnot, or why would someone maybe not be a fan of Whatnot? What is the?
That's a great question. To be very blunt, the reason that someone would not be a fan of Whatnot is because they don't have self-control. Because in the excitement when
buying,
Whatnot is designed to feed you entertainment so that you spend money. That's their business model. Bring on entertaining people who have goods to sell and make it as easy as possible to spend money. And they've done that very well. Like, their loop is just a swipe. You just slide at the bottom of your screen. Your credit card or debit card is already connected, and you buy, and stuff shows up at your house. And guarantee you, anybody who spends time on Whatnot has ended up buying something they didn't anticipate to buy, either because they were just having fun, and they end up spending that money as a way of having fun and participating, being a part of it, or they're supporting the actual streamers, which is one of the, I think, the best parts about Whatnot is, if you go to Whatnot at any given time, especially now with Chrome, and you go to the VeeFriends category, you'll see actual dozens of community members, not like professional breakers. It's like, set aside the dozens of professional breakers. You'll see real people who have their own collections, and they decide to get rid of part of them. And they might not get top dollar, but they will be able to sell through their stuff, and that's meaningful. But the reason I say self-control is, like, if you can't keep yourself from swiping, then you're not going to be very happy when that thing shows up at your house and you paid something that you
totally makes sense. And even if an individual has self-control, like, and I double clicked and I found it. It's like, Whatnot is tuned in for 2 minutes. Whatnot is a cancer hellhole. Hype. We love you. Best IP. Bye. Felt more pressure, more buying pressure than being in a Vegas casino. That's the point of Whatnot. It is a platform to sell stuff. So it's like, you may not like that. You don't have to participate, but that's the whole. It's like TikTok Shop, but the entire platform is built around it. It's not. That's what it's for. It's for selling stuff. So it's like, if you don't want to be sold
I saw
something.
a couple hands, and I want to hear the perspective too. But, like, I think the thing in that regard that people need to actually, let me put this a different way. I don't presume that anyone watching a VeeFriends show has the full story. Like, they could be tuning in at any given moment. They can have selective hearing and hear what they want to hear. But what we say on stream, basically every single show, is you do not need to buy something to be part of VeeFriends. And that could not be more true. It literally is. Like, we're dealing in collectibles. We're dealing in very frivolous things. Like, nobody should be spending money that they need for food or rent or their partner's anniversary gift. Like, you have to prioritize those things. But this is an entertainment platform. Yeah.
Yes, and yes, it's not. You don't have to buy, but if you are a collector, if you are a supporter, if you're buying these boxes and these packs and you're holding the like, I don't know, as a collector, I want the team, I want the leader, I want them getting excited about the thing they're selling. I want them selling the thing. Like it's you know, to create that momentum and build something new.
Drive demand for the thing that everybody else is buying and is holding, but I guarantee you sales are going to be lower if everyone is disinterested in what they have to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, it's just part of the equation.
Yeah, if you don't have enthusiasm, excitement, and you're not excited to sell something, like that shows. Like you're it's it's each their own. Everyone can have their own. I was curious, like how would there what's so bad? It's a selling platform. That's what people should be doing. And I want to see the builders of this IP getting excited and working for their bags, working for their brand, working to get, you know, the product out into the wild. And if you're not on Whatnot, you're basically cutting out an entire market of people who do participate in this sort of stuff. You're just leaving. I don't want to say low hanging fruit because it does take effort, but bypassing some stuff that could very well be not just incremental revenue generator, but bringing new people into the community, expanding the community. And shout out to Natty Wife, said that she thought she missed the Burn game, but heard us talking about it and went ahead and got her comic. So congrats on that. And I see a few hands here. We will go to Mike first, and then we'll bring Gary in here. And then if anyone else on stage has any questions for Jeremy or comments on this VeeFriends collection, by all means, go ahead and throw up a hand. So we'll go Mike, Gary, and then we'll go back to Iceman. Mike, go ahead and a question or comment for Jeremy.
Yeah, it has something to do with the Whatnot thing as well. He's absolutely right. I definitely sometimes don't have the self-control that I need on Whatnot, but I am entertained. I am having fun. Last night was the first break of the new Chrome. It was a case break last night, and they pulled the Livy Dunn autograph, which was really amazing to see.
That's what I want.
Yeah. You know, and I spent $50 on a spot, you know, one of the smaller spots, and I'm not going to get the value in cards that I spent, but I got the value of the entertainment that I spent.
It's a great way to look at it.
Cards that are going to show up.
Great way to look at it.
And here's something that I wanted to
and I guess we should add, Mike, I'm guessing that $50 spend that you spend on entertainment, that's not going to prohibit you from making your mortgage payment this month, your car payment. You're not going to go eat for 2 days because you shouldn't be spending money that you can't afford to lose, or you can't afford to spend on entertainment. And for some people that's $50, for some people that's $5,000. But yeah, you need to know yourself. And if you're down to your last $50, well, then don't tune into the Whatnot stream. Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly right. One thing I want to mention about Whatnot, though, and about VeeFriends and everything, and Gary, right? I think we've all come to understand that Gary can spot trends and very well and early. One thing I remember him saying a lot was, you know, live selling is the future, and you need to go to your garage and grab whatever you have in there and go online and sell it, because somebody's going to buy it, right? You don't need it anymore. Just sell it to them. Well, it's interesting for me to watch, and I've done this too. I've done some breaks on Whatnot, and I intend to do some more. But one thing that's really cool that I've seen with the VeeFriends community is that there's a number of businesses that have been started because of this for community members. I mean, there's a couple of community members that actually started a streaming network, right, where they can get you wholesale prices so you can start selling things yourself online. And it's been fascinating to watch, and it opened up a new world to me that I didn't know that I was going to enjoy so much. I love getting on Whatnot, communicating with the community, and even hosting my own streams and being able to talk. and I've gone into history cards and sports cards and, TCG cards and all kinds of stuff. Trying to find where I really want to fit in to stream and everything. But this is a business model that I didn't know that I would enjoy, and I didn't even know that I wanted to do until I started it. The other thing about it is the VeeFriends team, from Gary to Jeremy to everybody there, Corso, everybody, Adam, Jess, they show up in your streams and they support it. They run around the stream. There are dedicated days too where they'll go online simply to go raid somebody's stream to help them out and bring more people to their stream so they can have a more successful selling experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, when we talk about alignment, it's beyond just discounts or access to a drop. The like, supporting your community is, quite frankly, it's underrated. I see Hodl out there, and we almost every day there's leadership from the Board Ape Yacht Club team or the Ape Chain team jumps in here and supports myself, supports Coffee with Captain, and I don't say it nearly as often as I should, but I really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed, and that supporting your brand ambassador, supporting your supporters, you want to talk about like building lifelong fans and earning goodwill. It's very real, and it probably doesn't get talked about enough in this space.
I agree completely. The other side of the coin is I've watched Jeremy and Gary and people on Whatnot streams actually onboard people into the NFT ecosystem with
That's
two
awesome.
clicks of a button, 3 clicks of a button, right? All of a sudden now they're NFT holders. So there's this relationship that goes back and forth, which has absolutely been amazing to watch.
Very cool. This conversation, maybe, like I said, maybe tuned into one Whatnot stream. I don't have the app. I've never streamed on Whatnot myself, but what it's making me do is I think I want to do a Whatnot stream, just not that I really need to sell these, but I just want to go through my cards from the 80s, not just the Jerry Rice card. We can talk about like a Shaq card. This is a challenge too, like how you show a card on stream without the reflection. Need to do some lighting work there. This will be a good one here. One of the rare Chris Webber rookies. Again, these are all from like the junk era, where even like the legendary cards aren't worth what they should be, just due to so many of them got printed. But still, from the we go from Shaq to Anthony Hardaway rookie cards. Like this was it takes me back, like real nostalgia there. And yeah, I think I might have to do a Whatnot stream just so I can show off my my Cecil Fielder rookie card. Sorry, Mike, go ahead and then we'll go around to the rest of the hands.
No, I was just going to say, you can absolutely do that and not sell anything. That's not a problem at all. People just like to hang out, just like in the space. It's community, and you're with like-minded people. So not a problem. And I'm done, but thank you.
I can also share off. No, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it as always. I can also show off the cards that I bought when I was in card collecting phase. And maybe like one person, Phonics, if you're out there, I'm talking about you. We even know who this player is. But Travis Fulgham had like one game where he blew up as like a rookie wide receiver, maybe year 2 wide receiver. So I went and bought a bunch of his rookie cards, thinking he could be like the next Devonta Smith. He was not, by the way. If you don't follow football, he was a one and done game. But I had Joshua Kelly was another one. Thought he might be the next running back for the Chargers. It didn't happen. I'm sure everyone's really tuning in to hear me talk about my old card collection. So Gary's going to save me. Gary, GM, questions for Jeremy, or what brought you up this morning?
GM, everybody. Yeah, I am so excited about Chrome 2026.
Awesome.
So excited about VeeFriends. So grateful for Gary V. So grateful for his entire team. I should I say especially Jeremy. Really appreciate you, Jeremy, and all the work that you do. For people that don't know, Jeremy does so much onboarding, so much helping people, so much bringing people into our space, the Web3 space, and the stories that are being told, the relationships that are being built, for the people that don't know, are palpable. They're huge. They're significant. And this is not just something I'm saying, but they are literally changing people's lives. Now, for the people that don't know, to check it out, to learn about it, because It's not just NFTs. The Series 1s are great. The Series 2s are affordable. What's happening in the paper space, the cardboard space, is bringing people into our space. And, I just really, really recommend that everyone get involved, learn a little bit about it. And I also want to mention the whatnot side of things. The whatnot side of things, the impulse control is crazy. To get free stuff, you have to, sign up as, you have to make it easy to swipe to pay for things if you want to make it easy to enter the free giveaway.
Is that what it's done? Because I know everyone's mentioned that. So is it just like the UI to actually, you see something, you like it, and then it's like you're literally swiping, and the next thing you know, you've bought it and it's showing up the next day? Is that why the multiple people mentioned impulse control being such a key for whatnot? Just so
exactly. You see it, you think you want it, you swipe. Right next to the swipe button, there's another button where you can do a custom bid. And I always try to use the custom bid, because sometimes someone will swipe right before you, and then you swipe on top of their swipe, so then you maybe bid a little bit more than what you wanted to. And so sometimes you swipe and you go, oh, man, I really hope someone swipes over my swipe. But usually people on whatnot, at least in the VeeFriends space, if you overbid, or if you made a mistake, you can cancel bids.
Oh.
Not everybody is great like that, but there are tools to help you, like the custom bidding and whatnot. But there's like a little yellow bar, and you swipe on the bar, and your bid is in there. And you spend $50, maybe you don't get $50 in value, but you spend $50, you might hit a $1,000 card. Right? There is the flip side of that. And so there is a little bit of that gambling casino, like, I'm having fun. I'm buying entertainment. I might get $10 in cards instead of $50 in cards. But, there is a chance that you're going to pull one of these super rare cards. And that's really cool. That's really cool too, right? Because otherwise, the flip side of it, sometimes I'm in a stream and there's like a card that I want, and there's a chance I don't even get the card, right? Like I do $50, $60. There's a chance I don't even get the card, and sometimes I think, man, I should just hold off for eBay. But the thing with the whatnot space is that it's actually not just people selling, right? I go in VeeFriends rooms where there's artists who, because like I listen to whatnot kind of like I listen to Twitter Spaces. And I turn it on and I have it as background music, like it's YouTube or Twitter Spaces. And there might be just a VeeFriend there, or someone who's an artist, and they're just painting in the background. They're talking in the background, and they're not actively selling. And it's really, really interesting, because while it is this commerce first, entertainment first type of platform, it's a content creation platform. And so if you're an artist, you can build an audience there. It really reminds me of the Clubhouse days, where Clubhouse was voice first, and then Twitter kind of cloned that. I'm kind of thinking it's only a matter of time before Twitter sort of clones what Whatnot is doing, because it's what we're doing here in this space. But just imagine if there's a buy button on the bottom of this room. And with that being said, Cap, I sort of challenge you. I challenge you. There's zero reason why you should not be, and why you should be streaming to Whatnot at the very same time that you're streaming everywhere else. You don't need to be selling anything. You could be selling something. You could have stuff in your store, but you could be building an audience on Whatnot for your Coffee with Captain. You could be using that to then, maybe selling some of your cards, maybe selling merch, maybe selling your coffee cups. But there's zero reason why you shouldn't. I think you should totally be multi-streaming to Whatnot, and putting yourself out there and building an audience there as we speak. As you create a show every day, get people to tune into you and Whatnot.
Yeah, I've never thought about it, simply because I'm not in selling mode. I'm not at least like live selling, social shopping. But
you don't have to be.
To learn that you don't have to be selling on there, especially if we can set it up to where it's once we set it up in StreamYard, it's just simulcasting and doesn't require much of a technical lift. The other thing is like, I've been bullish on this concept for Von Frank can tell you. I started talking about TikTok Shop like 2, 3, 4 years ago, maybe, whenever, like shortly after it launched. I thought it was going to be like the next big wave in social. I know I'm not the only person that's been bullish on social shopping now, but I think I was very early to the concept, and it's still obviously it's taken off. Right now would be the time. Here's another one to go with the Jerry Rice rookie card, by the way, the Joe Montana. That's a keeper. I'll think about it. Like I had not thought about it, but yeah, I'll do some exploring and see if we can get it set up to where it's easy to stream. And I should start with tuning into a show and maybe now the midnight show, you've lost me there, but I will, one that's not past my bedtime. I'll look to tune in here in the near future and check it out.
And they have shows about everything. If you're into like, gold and silver, if you're into baseball cards, like I tune in, there's people all over the country where they go to garage sales and they turn on, they don't have a show or they don't have like a studio. They just turn on their whatnot. They walk around a garage sale and they're just like talking to people like a walk and talk. And they're showing people stuff at the garage sale and someone's like, the person will say item number 43, but anybody wants this, I'll get it for you. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, this is literally changing people's lives, kids' lives, older people's lives, like all sorts of lives. This is flip life, flip culture, entrepreneurship, which are, I would say core tenets of the VeeFriends and the Bored Ape community.
I think that's the other thing too. We talk about like that true north and not wavering from building this IP. It's also a collection or community of collectors. And Gary, it's where he got his start and doing the as far as the collecting world, like doing the garage show. Actually, kid you not, true story. I went to a garage show this weekend with Bert Took Duke. There was some I pulled into my neighborhood and I saw right across from a neighborhood there was a couple of people had a small yard sale and went and checked it out. And obviously, like the first person that popped in my head is Gary. I'm thinking about Gary going yard sailing as I'm out there. I ended up not buying anything, but it's just like someone said it earlier. I don't remember who, but Gary has time and time again been really early to consumer trends, to social trends, to online trends. And I know he's been beating the social shopping drum for a while. And yeah, like it's not for everyone, but it's obviously for a large chunk of people. And it's one of those where if you were doing this sort of selling, if you're doing pack rips, if you're in the collectible space, you're probably not doing it right if you're not at least speaking to that audience. It doesn't have to be your core distribution channel, but I think it's certainly a way to build an audience. And then we'll go back to Mike here in a second. And then Thomas, unless I saw your hand up earlier, I see it down now, but if you still want to get in here, let me know. Not to glaze him because he's on the stage with us, but you Gary, you mentioned about Jeremy and him onboarding people into the space and him going and showing. It's like, and I know there's others as well, but having met Jeremy and seen him out here in this show almost on a daily basis, the impression I get is it's really comes from a place of genuine love for what he's doing. It's authentic. He's not doing it because it's his job. He's not doing it because Gary said, hey, you need to go sit in on this live stream of Ron Jordan's and make sure you show some support. Shout out to Ron, by the way, another great VeeFriends community member. But it's like he really enjoys the community. He's passionate about what they're building. And maybe really good people, really talented poker face people can fake that sort of stuff. But I just, I don't think people fake that sort of stuff for day in and day out for multiple years. And Jeremy's a great asset to Gary and the VeeFriends team. And you talk about like onboarding people to NFTs. This is it. Like, this is how it's done. It's not, there's no more onboarding the masses of bringing in 10,000 people and there's some hot mint and everyone's going to come in to mint the big NFT community club drop from Kevin Rose. Like those days are gone. Like this is one by one, onesie twosie, and I need a better word than hand holding, but that's really it. Like it's, even though the technology barriers are less today than they were, when VeeFriends first minted, like Gary doesn't need to drop a 7-part series on how to set up a MetaMask now in 2026. There's a lot easier ways to get on board in the space than there was back then. But the reality is, it's still, it needs some guiding. It needs some chauffeuring. It needs some one-on-one attention to get people. It's also a big leap. Outside of the the extremely high net worth individuals, to be going from, I'm at a whatnot pack, I'm thinking about spending $50 on this pack break, to I'm going to go buy a digital asset worth thousands of dollars. Like you need to. It's very. I don't think that 0 to 1 is going to happen by just on their own very often. I really do think it's community members, it's team members, it's really guiding them along the way. And I think this is just one other area where I think a lot of other NFT PFP brands could pay attention to how VeeFriends is moving, both from a leadership standpoint and probably, like, I don't know everyone on the team, but I'm biased to Jeremy, someone I consider a friend. It's just like that's my impression of VeeFriends. That's my impression of the VeeFriends team. It's the people really care about what they're doing and they're in it for the long haul. Most of them. I mean, Jeremy, can I ask, when did you start working at VeeFriends? It seems like since I've known you, you've been.
It seems like forever ago. It was 3 years ago, February 23.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
You were really cooking there, Captain, and I appreciate the flowers, and I can guarantee you that I have my good days and bad days, but I do my best to be an A player. And that's what we look for. We look like we in the last year brought on like a real A player when it comes to operations, because we were just like doing so much physical fulfillment, and the lead time on a lot of these products is 8-12 months, and she's completely like changed the game for us. Like it's all about finding the A players who have a passion for it. I wanted to say, if you tune in tonight, and I would love for if anyone in this space actually tunes in who wasn't planning on coming to the show, please let me know, because then I will brag about it to Gary. But 11 p.m. tonight, we'll be live on Whatnot. But Cap, I know that you're usually an early riser and early to bed, but it's what you just talked about is so in the DNA of how Gary runs his show, because like you said, there are people who will spend more than 100, like right now with ETH as weak as it is, Series 2 NFTs are like $150, maybe less. They're 0.09 ETH, okay? And people will spend 10 times that in a given stream. Some people will pay that for more than a single character spot. And it doesn't take very long to be in a VeeFriends stream to hear Gary talk about, if you're starting to spend that kind of money, you've got to get educated on the NFTs.
Yeah.
And why that's so important as not just the first appearance, but the layer that we can activate. Like I've actually had people, and I totally love them for this, but I've had physical card collectors. This is so funny. So our biggest insert in Chrome is the Erupt. And there's a big collector of that set who has been like lobbying me to bring utility to the Erupt cards. And I respect it. Like I totally understand it's like spending money and like wanting to get favors from the brand, but like that's what the NFTs are for. They're literally programmable assets, and that's obviously above and beyond the collectible value, but I think you will be very pleased to see how much what you just said actually aligns with how Gary, in his own way, with his own hype of like, you got to get educated. And at the same time, we'll probably in the course of a 1 or 2 hour show, ask the chat maybe 5 or 6 times, who's new? Like comment if you're new. Ask your questions. The OG community is there. They're willing to help, but they'll go deep with people on stream, and like you said, it's just scaling the unscalable. It's like, because when you onboard someone like these Erupt collectors who spend $4 or $5 grand on a single card, when you onboard someone like that, that adds so much gravity to your community. It's not just about liquidity in the market and like supporting demand. It's gravity for more like-minded people who see value in the long-term journey that, VeeFriends is on.
Yep. Not to mention, I'm guessing most people that drop $4 grand on a Whatnot stream for their first card, it's probably not the last card they buy.
Oh, 1,000%.
1,000%. Iceman, appreciate your patience. We'll go back to Iceman, or we'll go to Iceman, then we'll go back to Mike Campbell.
Yeah, no, excuse me. I just wanted to add 2 quick things and had a question for Jeremy. With your Whatnot stream challenge there, you could also just set up a shop and you can put whatever you want in there and set whatever price. So you don't even have to pay attention to either live streaming or live selling. You can just put it in your shop, your extra Bored Ape, whatever merchandise you have laying around, or you want to get rid of some kind of premium product that you may have. You can put it in the shop and just stream on there. You can get, some liquidity or revenue from there. And Also, well, what I do is for Whatnot is I actually take my Coinbase card and preload it with just $50 of USDC, and I enter all the giveaways. I try to hit all of the community members that I follow on there, and that basically covers if I do win the givey, it covers my shipping. And then it also, if I don't, if I swipe too many
There's no
times,
shipping cost for giveies. The seller
Oh.
pays. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100% free. If you win a givey, it's 100% free, including shipping.
gotcha. There's some One Piece streamers that I know that you do have to pay for. That's why I just kind of just tossed that in there. But yeah, also too, Jeremy, I had a question. Are there going to be comic inserts in this Chrome release?
Oh yeah. So it's very popular in trading cards to have relic cards where they'll like cut out part of a jersey, or like they've done like floorboards from stadiums, and we cut up our comics for our first relic card. So I
That's pretty
think
cool.
it's issues 1 through, I want to say like 1 through 10, maybe 1 through 13 have been cut up. And yeah, it's like a thicker shadow box card. All 1 of 1s actually, because you know we only did one of each issue, and obviously there's no duplicate pages. So yeah, those are going to be really fun. I mean, I think the big chase there is going to be VeeFriends issue number 1, because like at the time that we cut up that comic, it was probably worth $5 or $6 grand. So I don't know how that flows into the card, but it, you know, there are particular people who not only want a full set of comics, but are even like comic number 1 maxis, because there's only 555 of them. And so I'm sure there's going to be some interesting faces over those.
That's yeah, I love the relic idea. I just saw it was actually Joe Mixon, so nothing great, but a Joe Mixon jersey. Like the inserts, the relics are, you know, it's how they're building and such a deep understanding of the card game that bringing a lot of these aspects, elements, albeit with a different twist with the characters. I love it. Mike, go ahead and get back in here, and then we'll see if there's any other questions for Jeremy. If not, we'll let him get out of here. Really appreciate your time, especially on impromptu this morning.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Cap. I said I was done and I lied, so you can't trust me. But what I wanted to say to you, you know, as far as Whatnot goes, right? It is a form of gambling, which is why the self-control is very good. When I forgot who it was mentioned, you know, the chase card, right? You're chasing something that you don't know if you're going to get or not, and there's the thrill of beating somebody in a bid, right? You outbid somebody, and all of a sudden your adrenaline and your endorphins and dopamine is being hit. So that's where the self-control comes in, and it can be very, very addicting. And as far, Jeremy, I just got to say, dude, you know, one of the things that has always bothered me when I got into this space was everybody says DYOR, do your own research, but nobody tells you how, right? They just like, oh, well, you just got to do your own research, and then they move on to something. They don't say, okay, here's how you can go do your own research, right? Board security is great for that, to go take classes and that kind of thing. But Jeremy, I just want to appreciate you for helping people through that process and teaching people how to keep stuff safe when you're bringing new people on board and everything else. So those are the last 2 things I literally will say, Cap, because I do have to get back to work. But
thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And before we let him out of here, throw up a hand if you got any questions for Jeremy. Go ahead, Machiavelli.
No, I don't have any questions for Jeremy. I'm all filled in on that. I just wanted to add something else, but I can do it at the end. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll come back to you. Go ahead, Gary.
Jeremy, assuming they were relatively the same price, should I purchase a 1 of 400 Chrome 2025 green-eyed black, very, 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 very lucky black cat, or should I purchase a 1 of 555 blue sapphire gift goat?
Oh shit. I think I love the goats, but I think it's the black cat, man. Here's the weird part about that gift goat card is it's rare, but it's not quite as scarce. It's like every pack has, like, that's the base card. So it's like it's really tricky. Like the difficulty to pull a card usually gets factored into its value, right? So you know, an erupt card in this set is going to be 1 in 10 cases, which is 120 hobby boxes, which are each $250. So we're talking tens of thousands of dollars for an on average chance of hitting a card like that, versus your on average chance of hitting that gift go card is 100%. So I think the market does value pack pull, but it also depends on what's in your collection and what the price is, you know, and what you want.
Wow, that's so interesting. I didn't really think. So you're saying, okay, so we're saying that even though, like, so the gift goat's like a guaranteed thing.
The
if
goats are
you-
gonna flame me for saying this, but yes, I do think like this, like it's part of the reason why Sapphire, like out of 25s, don't perform as well as the Topps Chrome limited to 25, because every single Sapphire box has an out of 25. Not every single non-Sapphire Topps Chrome box has an out of 25.
Interesting. That's a lot for us to chew on. Thanks. Sorry for getting you in trouble.
Hey, I'm just one man. There's just 2 cents. Please don't clip that.
Well, you're also the goat, and you're also a very, very, very lucky black cat.
Thanks, brother.
Gary out here making moves. Iceman, go ahead.
I'm good. I must be a glitch in the X
Oh, good.
stream here.
But
But yeah, no, but I'm good. Just Jeremy, I appreciate you for all that you do. Just spreading more flowers. Cap, same thing with you. Dude. I just appreciate the platform and the time you guys give us all to answer questions or just praise and give everybody flowers. So appreciate each and every one of you.
No,
I'll put a button. I'll put a button here as well, because yes, I want everybody to tune in to the show tonight at 11 p.m. on Whatnot at VeeFriends.com/live. Yes, I want people to go to Target and GameStop and grab a $30 blaster and hopefully have fun with themselves or with their family and their friends. But I also think I want to provide value. Obviously, Cap, I love you. I tune into the show all the time. I see a lot of familiar faces. And we're talking a little bit about the downside of Whatnot, of like kind of the even if it's self-imposed, the social pressure, the FOMO, right? Like a lot of it is FOMO. I think we all have our relationship to managing FOMO is very ingrained in our space. But one thing that Gary has taught me, and he said this throughout his content, is zig when other people zag. When everyone's focused on the new shiny thing, there's an opportunity elsewhere, right? Like we're seeing that in crypto. Everyone is focused on SpaceX IPOs and AI bubbles, and crypto is getting the short end of the stick right now. Knowing what to buy is maybe more important than knowing when to buy it. But if this conversation has led you to think like, oh, I really want to get more involved with VeeFriends, I just don't know where to start. Number one, reach out to me. We can schedule a call. I'm happy to just like talk to you, answer your questions directly. Number two, you know, NFTs are greater than everything. I feel that like in my soul. But also, like if you are a physical collector and you're seeing Chrome and you feel like it's getting away from you, we have so much other stuff to get involved in, and you can also just be a fan and be part of the community and just buy like a $2 base card. You know what I mean? So everybody needs to know who they are as a collector. Like I am never going to be a like collect everything collector. I'm going to collect the stuff that I like. Other people are set collectors. Other people are this or that. Other people are gamblers. Other people buy on eBay and get the cards they want. Like if you love a card in Chrome, you're probably going to get a good deal on it on eBay instead of trying to chase it on a chance in a pack. But hopefully that provides a little perspective and value for everybody. And thanks, obviously, Cap, for the impromptu. This is a ton of fun.
Nope, totally my pleasure, and really enjoyed the conversation. You let me know whenever the open invite for Gary. Well, I know I can imagine tomorrow is going to be a crazy busy day and a lot of other things going on. But whether it's later this week or next week or anytime in the future he wants to come on, and happy to dive deeper, help amplify, and do one of these, an actual scheduled conversation as opposed to impromptu. Not that I don't greatly appreciate you jumping up and being the subject matter expert this morning. Someone asked, is this a VeeFriends space? No, but it's a big day tomorrow, and it's a lot more exciting to talk about this. That's an exciting drop, and I truly, I believe, pushing the quote unquote NFT space forward. and doing a lot of good to educate and make others aware of this space, especially those in the collectible world, which it makes, for many reasons, a lot of sense as, common interest and people who could and many will become active participants in this space. So greatly appreciate that. And the other topic in the headline, this why 2026 K Day, the Mythos dropping from Claude today. The TLDR is just go revoke approvals. Revoke.cash.
Wait, is that dropping today?
Supposed to. It's not been confirmed, but it does appear that Mythos is coming out today. So if you have any, if you want to play super safe and secure, especially if there are newer protocols, maybe remove your funds and keep them in your hardware wallet until the dust settles on this. Maybe especially if it's a newer protocol, we saw the flooring protocol exploit, like if you're in an NFT lending protocol, if you were considering pulling your assets out, this morning might be a good time to do that, just to play it extra safe. And after the dust settles, you can always go back in. I'm not trying to incite fear, but it is very, for people, the powers that be, it is very real, and a true frontier model that's leveled up, and hopefully the good actors, the white hats out there, can leverage it to find any of these holes and vulnerabilities and get them patched before the bad actors can. But in some cases, like, I would be shocked if there's not some exploits, not just in crypto, but elsewhere as well. And hopefully they're minimized. Before we go to Machiavelli, just to finish my patting myself on the back for, we were talking relics, and I know Score, to Steve's point, not the best, lower value compared to something like Topps Chrome, but good old Patrick Mahomes college jersey in this one, Texas Tech card from Patrick there. Yesterday we had, if you want to get in consideration for the Friday's Coffee with Captain Claw poll, today's question for all those of you who've hung out with us this entire show and still out there in the audience, if anyone wants to be in consideration for Friday's Coffee with Captain Claw poll, whoever guesses the significance of this next card I'm going to show, why is some random Mark Jackson card from, it's an NBA hoops card from 1991. He wasn't his rookie card. He was a rookie in 87, 88 was his rookie year. Why is this Mark Jackson card notable? If you're in the card, it's not as iconic or legendary as that Jerry Rice rookie card or the Billy Ripken one where he had interesting words on the bottom of his bat. It could be seen in the image, but there's something else significant about this, or notorious maybe is a better way to put it, about this Mark Jackson card. First person to guess in any of the chats, we'll take, it's acceptable on YouTube, Abstract, or X Audio, or the video spaces. First person is the finalist for Friday's Coffee with Captain. And you could be like Mike and turn your $50 claw pull into you swap it, run it back again, and end up pulling a $1,200 card from BZ. I also have the Scottie Pippen rookie card for this card was taken the day he met Satoshi, Scotty told me. And then my question for all of you is, and this isn't for Coffee with Captain, but after his comments yesterday, did these Charles Barkley cards, did they go up in value or down in value? Is Charles Barkley getting canceled, or are his cards becoming more valuable after his mildly inappropriate Cardi B comments? And then for those in the war room, you heard me tell my story about baseball, and the curse is finally broken. My high school team, which I didn't realize I was part of a curse. The only time in my life, at least to my knowledge, I've been part of a curse. They broke the curse. They're going to the state Final Four for the first time since 1986. That Final Four was led by Dan Roof. Dan Roof was at the time set the national record for home runs in his high school career. Went on to play at Michigan, and a couple Dan Roof autograph cards in the collection. And I think that's all we'll show off today. Maybe this will start the WhatsApp, but the What's Not channel, I guess. Any guesses? Yep, Amelie, who is rocking the Gary V picture, maybe one of the best. So Smoking Jay, multiples actually got it right. Mike C, Smoking Jay, and Amelie. Come back Friday. We'll do the claw poll on Friday morning, and all three of you are you're a finalist for Friday's claw poll. Actually, Mike, you can't go back to back. So, but correct guess. This was the Menendez brothers cards. If you can see in the background there, the Menendez brothers are in the background. They're sitting courtside of this Mark. So this random Mark Jackson card is, I mean, it's not like super valuable, but it is the only card in that set that's probably noteworthy. It wasn't someone's rookie card because the Menendez brothers are in the background. But yeah, Emily, this is what I want to call attention to. Maybe the best NFT image of Beanie, you're also in the running there. Menendez brothers is correct. The best NFT personality shot of all time. I don't remember the question that was asked, but Gary was on, was it maybe like Fox Business or one of the morning shows, and someone asked him a dumb question, and this was Gary's look. This was viral for a minute. It became a meme in the space. Jeremy, do you remember what question they asked him when he responded with this look?
Yeah, not verbatim, and I also forget. I actually just Googled it to try to remember what it was, but it was a quick like mainstream news interview, and if I remember the timing, it was like between pumps in the bull market, right?
Yep.
And as is so common with Bitcoin and crypto, the news reporter had said like, "Oh, well, you're into NFTs and crypto, which is known as a safe haven for drug lords and embezzlers or something like that, you know." And then before his answer, he did that smirk, like it as a reaction to the kind of like, you know, her injecting this like, you know, signal to the audience, oh yeah, this is a criminal type of thing. He did that smirk, and it was like his answer was so great because he said something to the effect of like, you know, this is not exclusive to crypto. Like there's crime and bad people in every industry, whether it's Wall Street or blockchain. And yeah, he went, that was probably the most viral Gary moment of the entire crypto bull market.
Yep. All time look, all time smirk. And that's my recommendation for a future top Chrome set, the Gary V smirk card. That would be a great.
Oh my God, that would be so funny. I'll see if I can find the original meme. Oh, it's actually, is this it?
It says CNBC interview early February 2022. More specifically, he was asked about the problematic side of crypto NFTs. Chuckled before answering, and that freeze frame became the NFT Twitter meme known as the Gary V smirk. NFT Now documented it as coming from a CNBC interview and noted it as popular. Yeah, so
nice find.
Yep. It's all ChatGPT. I took a screenshot of that image, and
yeah,
they ChatGPT guessed it or got it right. I will bring.
Have you delved into the world of non-ChatGPT AI yet?
So Claude, I use Claude probably more frequently than ChatGPT. Claude, ChatGPT, a little bit of Grok, a little bit of Google.
But are you using it outside of like the native chat instance? Like, are you using Cowork to like?
A little bit. I do use Cowork. I mean, Cowork actually helps with the daily brief for the show. Although I use maybe 30% of what it comes up with. It might get like a headline or two or a topic that I wasn't aware of that I'll end up talking about. So I do use Cowork. Outer got us working on Codex and doing some coding on a website. And back to the whole whatnot thing and merch, like Outer, we actually chatted briefly this weekend over text, and but with the Coffee with Captain coffee mug is a no-brainer. We got to do it, and when that thing goes live, we may as well turn it on whatnot.
Yeah, you can call it an exclusive. I only ask because I think it's very hard to get these bots to not generate slop, but there's so much value for content creators, hosts like yourself, like personalities, to facilitate the distribution with bots, you know, like having that quality gate and then being able to give an approval command, and the bot just like posts it to Instagram, comments it on relevant posts, you know, post it to Discord. Like a lot of that stuff is much more automatable, and but obviously without having to know how to actual code, especially since you're so articulate, like you can literally just talk into existence. That's the craziest thing about all this. And I don't want to derail the convo. I know we're at the end, but like for anybody who's on the fence of like, trying to figure out Hermes bot or any of these, like you can literally talk into existence any kind of digital artifact or creation you could imagine. You can never do that. That's like, that didn't exist a year ago. And suddenly non-technical people can talk into existence whatever they want. So long as you're a little persistent, you can like learn a little bit.
Yep. And so I need to do, I need to do more outside of the base, applications, the base UIs. I also need to just use voice more. I need to have more natural conversation. It's something I'm aware of. I just have never been a big voice messenger. I've never been like a voice dictation. And I know it's something I should do more of. And I need to force the habit to create it. And then, I think I will, I think I'll use a lot more often once I get started.
Well, I'll be first in line for a coffee with Captain mug. So
appreciate it. I did pin up top that if anyone wants to go watch that full interview from where the Gary V smirk originated, I did pin that up top. And it's up top in the Jumbotron. One in from the left, all the way to the left is the reminder link for tomorrow's show. If you've not yet hit that, you can smash that reminder as we play y'all out of here. I just saw there's a Meebit space going on right now. Meebit's football mint day. It's talking about World Cup. One more reminder too for our Coffee with Captain World Cup bracket. It's a free challenge. You just need an underdog account, and we're going to be picking whoever wins that bracket challenge. It's not just picking the winner. You got to build the whole bracket, and there's points. Yeah, whoever wins the bracket challenge is going to be our community member of the month for the month of July. The World Cup in July 19th, I believe, is the final. So that the month of July, whoever wins that bracket challenge will be getting a $250 BZ Gold Claw pull as part of their prize. And last but not least, we'll hit on this tomorrow maybe. It's a news item, kind of breaking news since we're here on the show. Yeah, markets are going kind of red. Diabolito, we got the inverted Coffee with Captain pump this morning. Unfortunately, spent too much time talking about NFTs and Topps Chrome sets to pump the market. So sorry, we did all we could. Actually, we didn't do all we could, but come back tomorrow for the real the crypto Coffee with Captain pump. Merlin Eggolite just announced that Morpho raised $175 million, round led by Paradigm, A16Z, and Ribbit Capital, the largest raise in DeFi history. Current financial system is broken. Access to capital still depends on where you live, who you know, which intermediaries you're willing to trust. The only way to fix that is build new infrastructure, and that's Morpho. Morpho is moving trillions to completely new infrastructure. Requires an enormous amount of energy, conviction, and resources. That's why we raised. The moment also lets us take a step back and appreciate Morpho's growth throughout the years from a project started by 4 students to being integrated into the world's leading financial institutions. Incredibly proud of what we scaled conscientiously, I don't know. Staying aligned as co-founders, perhaps not on whether butter should have salt in it or not, but that's another story. Unsalted butter is the alpha. 100% focused on Morpho and nothing else, and growing Morpho team into one of the best, if not the best, most principled teams building in DeFi. In the months ahead, a big part of the work we're bringing to Morpho to more teams, institutions, better integrations, better onboarding, better support, and stronger go-to-market overall. If we do our job well, the long-term outcome is clear. Morpho becomes the open credit network for the world, embedded into every financial institution and changing the financial systems for the better. This is a quote tweeted the tweet from Morpho account, just MORPHO. Morpho Association has raised $175 million to build the open credit network for the world. Big raise, biggest ever in DeFi from a dollar amount per the post. So congrats to the Morpho team. And apparently I accidentally muted everyone. I wasn't aware of that. Pulled a Steve talking so much. Steve is one very passionate, has been a longtime supporter of VeeFriends, still holds his Brave Bison, and he's been ripping these packs since the jump. But really enjoyed the conversation today. I enjoyed my nostalgic trip down memory lane, going through some of my cards that I need to get to Joey so he can help me sell some of these, although I don't really want to sell some of the ones that I have that emotional attachment to. Also, since we talked about them earlier, I will share. I just saw hit the timeline. Speaking of Concordium, I was saying, hey, how their order has been around longer. 5 years ago, to be exact. Mainnet went live 5 years ago today. Started with a simple belief: trust should be built into the protocol. 5 years later, that foundation powers verified identity, privacy preserving accountability, settlement infrastructure, and now the trust layer for AI agents. Verified humans, verified agents, one protocol. Here's to the next 5 years. Do your own research, as always. I'm not a financial advisor. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join for that. Just join for some fun, some information, maybe a little bit of education along the way. And we'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. I have 2 guests tomorrow. And we'll be lining up some more here later this week, next week. And as I mentioned earlier, Jeremy, open invite for Mr. Gary Vee. Would love to dive even deeper on this conversation we started today. Really enjoyed it. Appreciate everyone who added value to the conversation, both on stage as well as in the chat. Congrats to everyone who guessed the Menendez brothers. Good luck as you're now all finalists for Friday's Coffee with Captain. And if you haven't yet, head up top, click through that Underdog account, fill out your brackets, free to enter, and you could be in the running not just for a $50 claw pool, but a $250 claw pool come July. With that, have a wonderful day today. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll see y'all then. Thanks, everyone.